49ers have won the last 4, including a 55-17 thrashing last year here at Pontiac. But keep in mind that Barry Sanders did not play in that game. George Seifert has a tremendous record against NFC Central Division foes and needs a win badly. And he heard it from the fans back in the Bay Area. And Wayne Fontes also has taken some pressure in the Midwest this week. He has never beaten the 49ers. The Niners have won the toss. Jason Hanson will kick off for the Lions, and you can see already that we've got another throwback weekend. So the Lions wearing uniforms from 1935. Dexter Carter to receive, and the Niners wearing their 1955 uniform. Dexter Carter will run it out from the end zone. And brings it out to about the 27-yard line. A 30-yard return. And tempers flare on the opening kickoff. May give you an idea how these players are coming into this game after their weeks. Steve Young, who was taken out of the game in the third quarter last week against the Eagles. Steve Wallace, Jesse Sapolo makes a start again at left guard. He's back in action, and Pollock got right tackle. Waters, Floyd, Rice, Taylor, and Brent Jones. The offense. 1st and 10. Rice in motion. And Young's pass for Brent Jones is nearly intercepted on the deflection. Broderick Thomas nearly had a pickoff. Defensively for the Lions, and they're looking to put a pass rush on Steve Young today. Kelvin Pritchett, Mark Spindler will start at nose tackle in place of Dan Owens. Robert Forshea, the other defensive end. Pat Swilling, Mike Johnson, Chris Spielman, and Broderick Thomas. That's the strength of the Lions. Their linebackers. Massey, Blades, Clay, and McNeil make up the secondary. 2nd down and 10 on the 26. Rice with a quick toss, and Ricky Waters out of the backfield, and Benny Blades nearly took his head off.
Now, we talked at the start of the show, Dick, about the offense of the 49ers starting fast. And they came out in the first play. Young hits Brent Jones. It goes off his hand, almost like last week, the first play when he hits Jerry Rice, and it bounces, of course, the interception, and then they get in a hole. I think today that the San Francisco 49ers have to come out and start quick. They are a fast start team, and when they're really rolling, they jump up on you quick.
And there was a penalty that has been declined.
It could be a complete pass. Pass is incomplete. 3rd down.
It is 3rd down. It's an incompleted pass.
Yeah, he's saying that he didn't have control of the ball long enough for it to be a completion. When he got hit and it went out of bounds, they called it incomplete.
Good point about the Niners getting off early, because the Lions, the way we saw them this week, could really get discouraged if they fall into an early hole.
Right.
3rd down and 10. Nate Singleton is a 3rd wide receiver for Steve Young, and his pass to Ricky Waters, and he can't hold on. He was open, and that'll bring up 4th down.
You know, the thing is with Steve Young, it's important for him also to settle down, but he can't throw and catch the ball. There's 3 passes that should have been completions, already 3 drops.
So the Niners obviously out of sync on their first series, and so Klaus Wilmsmeyer will be kicking, and one of the big threats in the NFL, Mel Gray, back to return for the Lions. Good kick by Wilmsmeyer, and Gray goes back inside his 20. Mel Gray, and he's tackled out of bounds. That was Troy Wilson on the play. 57-yard punt that time by Wilmsmeyer. So Scott Mitchell, who has been in a quarterback slump, brings out the Detroit Lions. And it looks like the head linesman was shaken up on the return.
Saw Victor Jones yelling at him. Victor Jones jumping in his face. You know, it's one thing to get beat up and get drilled on the sideline, and then, you know, they're waiting for the call. So, of course, everybody comes over and tells you not only get out of the way, but make the right call.
Bobby McGrath is the head linesman. Jerry Austin is our referee.
After the play is over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the receiving team. Half a distance to the goal, 1st down.
So that'll set the Lions back for Scott Mitchell, who has completed, as you saw, only 47% of his passes. trying to get on track today against the 49ers. They, too, looking for a pass rush. Lomas Brown, Sean Bowens, Kevin Glover, Doug Weidel, and David Lutz, the offensive line for Detroit. The incomparable Barry Sanders with 3 wide receivers, Herman Moore, Aubrey Matthews, and Brett Perriman. Ron Hall is the tight end. There is Sanders, who gained 166 yards last week in a losing effort at Tampa Bay.
Barry Sanders has been, the last 4 weeks, the offense for the Detroit Lions. You listen to Jimmy Johnson in the pregame show. He told you that Wayne Fontes isn't stupid. He's going to ride his horse. Barry Sanders is a horse, and I think we'll see a lot of that today.
Lions will start from their 14-yard line. And they have 2 tight ends as Rodney Holman is in there. Barry Sanders gets some running room and gets to within a couple of yards of first down yardage. Deion Sanders ran him out of bounds, a pickup of 7. 49ers looking for a pass rush with Dent still sidelined. Ricky Jackson, Dana Stubblefield, Brian Young, and Dennis Brown, the defensive line. Ken Norton, Gary Plummer, and Lee Woodall, the linebackers. Sanders with Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald, and Eric Davis make up the secondary for the Niners.
And Dick, you see Ray Rhodes right here, the defensive coordinator, and talk to him and say, how do you stop Sanders? 8-man front. First play of the game, they bring the safety up and they go with their 8-man front.
Second down and 2. Barry Sanders, first down, and he did it himself with a great cutback move, and it was Dennis Brown on the stop.
Yeah, how do you identify an 8-man front? Well, the easiest way for the quarterback is to look back here and see all you see is 1, 2, 3 guys back. That means there's 8 up here. And they bring the safety up, and this time it's Woodall in the game, outside backer, and it doesn't matter because Sanders will run against an 8-man front, 7-man front, 9-man front. He's the reactive runner, and if you show him one thing, he'll just react the other way.
First and 10 on the 29-yard line. Scott Mitchell has some time, and he completes the pass up the middle to Ron Hall. And the tight end gives the Lions another first down, a gain of 13.
And the thing with Scott Mitchell, what he wanted to really do is he wanted to come out and get a rhythm, find a rhythm. He says, and I said, how do you do that? He said, look, I want to throw underneath. I want to throw to the tight end like you see right here. I want to throw to Sanders out of the backfield. I want to shorten the routes and throw short, and we can start to bring the defenders up, and then I'll take my shot downfield.
Charles Mann has come in the game for the 49ers. He's playing in the left defensive end spot on first down. Sanders, and that time the 49er defense closes in a short gain. And a penalty flag is down.
Sanders stopped by Stubblefield and Young. Flag out.
Offside, number 71 of the defense. 5 yards.
That's Mann, who just came into the ball game.
He was lined up there. I tried talking to Charles yesterday. He couldn't be happy. He said, yeah, it's nice to be able to finish my career in a great place like this, but what he'd really like to do is contribute. And to be honest with you, I watched Charles. He's not the same Charles Mann. He's lost a step, and he'll have to make up with just savvy.
First down and 5 now on the Lion 47. They give it to Sanders. Last week, Sanders carried 20 times, and a lot of the Lion people feel he needs to carry 30 for the Lions to be effective today.
Yeah, well, he himself says that he doesn't really get warmed up till about the 15th carry.
Yeah, we have had some heated tempers already here in the opening moments.
That's good. That's a good sign. You know, that's a carryover from last week. Both these teams lost games that they thought they should win. Tampa Bay, of course, beating Detroit. And then Philadelphia pounded, beating the snot out of the 49ers. And they've taken it personally, and they should. I mean, this is a game of emotion, and I would be disappointed if I didn't see that surface now.
It'll be 2nd and 4. And a flag is down. Mitchell's pass to Ron Hall out of bounds. The clock got down to 0, and it looked like one of the Niners had moved, so we'll wait to see what the officials rule on this play.
It looked like Stubblefield jumped inside. And to be honest with you, that's Stubblefield's game. Jerry Austin getting ready for that call again. Take a look at his hat. See, he's got the old-time hat still.
Offside. 5 yards. First down.
And that's what the Niners are looking for today. They would like Stubblefield and Brian Young to give the same inside push that the Vikings did against Mitchell.
Yeah, but that's the guy. He's the guy who's going to make it right here, Dana Stubblefield. Stubblefield really is changing right now. What he's doing, his style is going more from the old two-gap to taking off up the field. Richard Dent has been a tutor to him. Dent's been saying, look, Dana, look, get up the field and mess things up. And that's what he's been doing.
And a first down after 2 penalties against the Detroit defensive line, or the Niners line. Into Niner territory. Sanders. And Charles Mann from behind.
Very nice play by Charles. That's the savvy I'm talking about. You know, as you get older, you start to lose a little bit. Sometimes you lose the bending in your knees and your hips, and then other times you just lose a step. Now, Charles has had a bunch of knee surgeries. So what he's got to be able to do is rely on his experience, start reading things, throw guys by position, and understand the formation. You can make the play, which he did right there.
That's Richard Dent, who...
That's now Coach Dent.
That's right. They miss his pass rushing.
Heck, Richard Dent killed 2 teams, the 49ers and the Bears.
Second down and 8. And a play-action bootleg with Scott Mitchell. And the pass at the last second to Rodney Holman.
That was played beautifully. Did you see how Mitchell came to the line of scrimmage, knew where he was, put the ABS brakes on, and then popped it right over the top? Now, what he's doing is he's toying with the defensive back. As he makes his roll out here, it's going to come all the way around. Then you're going to watch the defensive back. He's in a quandary. Do I come up and force it, or do I stay back? And it's Woodall right there. Woodall decides to attack, and when he does, he pops it over his head.
Smart move by Mitchell because he saw the defender coming on. And it is a first down on the San Francisco 33. Brett Perriman in motion. 2 tight ends in the pitch. Barry Sanders and the 49ers with excellent pursuit by their linebackers. Lee Woodall leading the way.
Lee Woodall has been getting better and better. And Ken Norton, this is the kind of a play that Ken Norton excels at. Watch Norton right inside. Norton is a runner. He needs to be more aggressive. But when a team will play him like this and let it stretch, this is what he does well. Remember, Norton really is an outside backer who they converted to inside. So speed and flow to the ball are his strengths.
Second down and 12. And the Niners are looking for better things from Ken Norton. Aubrey Matthews in 3 wide receivers. And it looks like the right tackle, Lutz, is guilty of a false start.
That was a lucky guess, Dick.
73. 5 yards.
How did you see it that
Well,
fast?
he's the biggest man on the field, and he was wide all by himself, and I saw him move.
He is an absolute monster. And speaking, you know, I said, man, how did you get like this? He said, hey, I was born this way. It's genetic. He said, in fact, I have 2 little girls that aren't little girls. He said, they're going to be offensive tackles, too.
Not the girls.
That's what he said.
Second and 17 following the Lion penalty. Mitchell's pass up the middle, and a great catch made by Herman Moore. And a penalty flag is down after the catch. Deion Sanders was defending, and that's the man the Lions want to get loose as the receiver today.
It is a big game for Herman Moore. Herman Moore is looking at this as an opportunity.
Illegal contact. Number 21. Penalty is declined. First down.
And Herman Moore told us that he believes if the guy is even, he's at a distinct advantage. Now watch how he works. See how he uses his body? All he's doing is he's playing the pivot man in basketball. He's keeping the ball between the defender and his hands. And that's what he does. He just sticks it right out there, grabs onto it. Not the greatest speed guy, but a great body position guy is Herman Moore.
And a big play guy, averaging nearly 16 yards a catch. Second in the NFL. Now Scott Mitchell checking with Wayne Fonts.
It was short. Therefore, it would have been a third down. The penalty will be taken for illegal contact.
I never saw that.
5-yard penalty, automatic first down. Number 21 of the defense.
I've never seen that happen. I've never seen him say, all right, we refuse it. Oh, I changed my mind. Now I want it. They could have gotten third and short. Instead, they're going to go with the first down and take the 5-yard bump.
That's interesting. They give up a lot of field position, and it shows you, even with Barry Sanders, that they may not have confidence in third and short with him.
Yeah, but you want to know something, Dick? What they're getting right now is confidence in that offense, particularly Mitchell. I can see it. You know, he's hustling to the ball. He knows what he wants to do. He's got a little bit of zip in his step. There's a big difference between now and what I saw last week.
First down on the 35. Here's Sanders. And he runs right into Tim McDonald. McDonald was waiting for him.
That couldn't have been played better by the 49ers, particularly Tim McDonald. Here's what I want you to watch with Barry Sanders. It's going to start here, but it can go anywhere in here. Tim McDonald is going to come walking up to give you that 8-man look, and then watch what he does. He never moves. He just maintains the defense. See how he stays, wait, knowing that Sanders eventually can bounce it out, and that's when he makes the tackle.
It'll be second down and 8 at the 33-yard line. Lions started on their own 14. Mitchell pumps deep and goes deep to Perriman. Touchdown, Detroit. Thirty-three-yard touchdown pass gives the Lions the lead.
Remember, we said we want to throw it short. I want to try to hit my tight end, my backs. I've done that, and he said, and then I will take my shot. Well, his shot comes turned over to the safety in zone on Merton Hanks, and he does a nice inside move, breaks back outside, and that's a touchdown.
So it's the Lions who jump on top, and Jason Hansen with Dave Craig, the holder. They'll try to give the Lions a 7-0 lead, and Hansen does. Big play. Brett Perriman, and Detroit jumps on top, 7-0.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. By Taco Bell, tacos, burritos, and nachos, cross the border. By A1 Steak Sauce and spicy A1 Bold, together they're how steaks are done. And by New York Life, the company you keep.
Brett Perriman with his first touchdown catch of the year, and touchdown pass number 7 for Scott Mitchell. And Matt, as you pointed out, he's really in sync on this first scoring drive where the Lions went 86 yards.
So the Detroit Lions got their end of the bargain done fast. They say we need to come out, establish a tempo, and score early to make the 49ers be a little bit on the defensive.
Jason Hansen kicking off, and Dexter Carter back to receive. Carter out of the end zone, and a good return. Penalty marker down. And Ryan McNeil tackles Carter at midfield, but there's a flag back on the 20. 52-yard return, and it may be called back.
Well, that's going to be at the 10-yard line. They're going to start this drive. They're going to lose 40 yards of field position because of a bad block.
Grabbing a face mask, number 85.
Ted Popson. They caught Popson grabbing a face mask. And that's going to take it back.
That's Steve Kaiser, who's been under fire this week as the Lions special teams made every mistake imaginable last week against Tampa Bay. But you live to coach another week, and that's what Steve Kaiser has done. And we'll take a timeout. The Lions lead the Niners 7-0.
Ted Popson, number 85, right here. Watch this. Left arm, he gets his hand stuck right in the face mask, right there. Watch how the head jerks back. That's what they call. There's the penalty. And you can see the lane right up here for Dexter Carter. Actually, the face mask was incidental. It didn't have to be done.
Huge penalty against the Niners. They'll start from their own 12. They could have been at midfield. Here is Ricky Waters, and he's tripped up. Gain of a couple. Chris Spielman. He looks like a throwback guy in that old uniform, the Honolulu in blue and silver that the Lions wore for so many years.
Well, let me say one thing. That's some ugly-looking uniform right there. You know, they're all right till they hit the waist. And from the waist down...
How about the socks?
They're hideous. Yeah, those socks don't make it. Spielman makes it, though.
Second down and 7. 2 tight ends for the Niners. Again, it's Ricky Waters. Going nowhere. Steve Young was in a position to put a block on, and Ryan McNeil hung in there with him. And 1 yard loss on that play.
Yeah, when you start to press and you're Ricky Waters, how that manifests itself as he starts to run and really he's tried to go outside. And he doesn't ever try to square his shoulders and get up. Now he just tries to turn it into street ball and run around outside and just try to create something. When things are going wrong and having a tough time, you have to go back to basics. You have to go back to the inside running, square your shoulders, get upfield, take a 2-yard gain instead of a home run.
Robert Massey may have been shaken up, and we're going to have a timeout. And we'll be back with 6:18 remaining in the first quarter. Robert Massey injured his left ankle at practice this week, but they worked on his right ankle on that play.
You'll see he gets locked up here with John Taylor, but I'm going to tell you something. This is so typical of getting hurt. It's usually not your guy. I mean, it is usually your guy. It's not the guy you're on. So many injuries happen when your own guy whacks you, and that's what happened with Massey.
6 defensive backs for the Lions on 3rd down and 8. Trying to put pressure on Steve Young, and the pass is knocked away by Milton Mack, and Nate Singleton pleads for a flag, and he gets one. And they're going to call it on Mack, and not only that, but Steve Young has been shaken up. He got hit after he threw the ball.
He got drilled. Remember, last week he was getting pounded all game long. You know, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Quarterbacks are the toughest guys I've ever been around in this league. I mean, they just get absolutely hammered, and you gather your senses, and you come back.
Cornerback, right cornerback. First down.
And you know, Matt, it's not only the 14 sacks, it's the hits and the hurries after you get rid of the ball.
Oh, yeah, and you know, the thing is, you're standing in there, and you have to ignore it. You're a quarterback, the best ones, they don't see Pritchett or Porcher coming in there. They don't see both of them. You have to have the blinders on and be able to focus.
Robert Massey back in the game for the Lions. First down for the Niners. And the give is to Ricky Waters. Up the middle and knocked back. And it was Broderick Thomas after a gain of 4 yards. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Hey, Dick, Darrell Henley set up the Rams' first score when he took an interception of Brett Favre, and the Rams capitalized as Chris Miller finds Troy Drayton for the score. Rams lead at 7-0. Let's go back to Detroit. Dick and Matt.
Well, not a surprise since the Rams beat Kansas City on the road. Now they're leading the Packers.
Starting to play good defense, and when that offense catches up, Rams going to be pretty good.
2nd down and 6, and on the reverse, Jerry Rice has no choice but to go out of bounds, and good pursuit by Mike Johnson, among others.
Yeah, but you know who made that play? Second play in a row, Broderick Thomas. Broderick Thomas forced Jerry Rice 15 yards deep, and then he got blocked, but what he ends up doing, he ends up making everybody, giving time to get over there and make the tackle. Now you watch, he has to outrun him. Now watch how he goes. There's 5, now another that's 9 yards deeper than when he had to. Now he takes it on the chin when he makes the play. Broderick Thomas is the Jerry Rice of this defense right now. You can see Jerry right there, who's a great one, but Broderick Thomas is playing very, very well.
3rd and 9. Here's Broderick Thomas, and he gets a piece of Steve Young, and the pass caught by Rice at the 30-yard line, and that will be enough for a San Francisco first down.
Hey, remember when I talked about it, and he put Rice down, he put Young down. Young's shaken up. Remember I talked about the quarterbacks having to put the blinders on? Watch Broderick Thomas come off the corner. Nobody touches him. Young knows he's going to get smacked. He rolls to his left and still makes the completion.
He has been the heart of the Lion defense this year so far.
I don't understand this. Broderick Thomas has been their best pass rusher. Nobody blocks him. See, Bart Oates doesn't get out there in time. And then Pritchett is there. Porcher is there. And Thomas gets it.
And Elvis Gerbach, who came in the 3rd quarter in the onslaught last week at Candlestick, has replaced the injured Steve Young. Gerbach was 4 for 8, 52 yards against the Eagles. And Young is being worked on. First down on the 31 of the Niners. 7-0 Detroit. Handoff inside to Ricky Waters. Nothing doing. 1-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down.
You know the big difference, you watch Steve Young there getting worked on after he's getting beat up, but you know there's two big differences for this Detroit Lion defense. See Young, you see right there, a tough guy again. He just shake it off. He'll go back in 2 plays, guaranteed. Now, we watched him last week when he got all emotional and everybody got surprised. But that never surprised me. Young is that intense.
And he's ready to come back in the game. 2nd down and 8. Gerbach is going deep for Jerry Rice and overthrows him and covered well downfield.
And look at Young getting ready to come back in. Young's on the sideline talking like they want to keep him there, but he wants to come back. Talking to Gary Kubiak, the quarterback coach. And Gerbach's already out.
Taking a tremendous amount of punishment. You showed some of those hits during the pregame show.
Yeah, and Young's that kind of a guy. I mean, I always called him Wild Man. When I got there, he was backing up Montana, but the guy was a nut. He wanted to play special teams. He wanted to play strong safety. He loves contact, but I don't think he loves the kind of contact he's getting now.
Well, his offensive line hasn't done the job yet today. 3rd down and 8. And a flag is thrown and a delay of the game call. Tell you, the Niners have made some penalties that have really put them in a hole here.
Okay, so let's look at the overview. The Detroit Lions said we have to come out here and we have to start fast and get the 49ers on their heels. 49ers said we've got to start fast. So what's happened? The 49ers have come out flat. They've done everything wrong, and the Lions have got the emotional edge right now. They've climbed up.
6 defensive backs, 3rd and 13. Young, slant pass, is caught at the 40, shy of a 1st down to Jerry Rice. And I think they're about a yard short. The spot here will be maybe less than a yard.
Yeah, but he's still short. That's a 4th down. But how about Steve Young? And look, they're going quick huddle. They're going to go right back to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to get it. They're going to try to catch with Spindler off. They're going to try to get this thing going right now. Look, they got the Lions in a quandary. Young's trying to get him shot. Hey, that's a good job right there by Pat Swilling.
He calls a timeout because there was still 6 defensive backs on the field for the Lions with a 2 tight end offense. So the Lions use up their 2nd timeout of the 1st half.
Now, here's what I want you to watch. I want you to watch the referee for one, and then I want you to watch Pat Swilling because they're in disarray. They don't have the right package on. They don't know what to do. So now he jumps offside. See, then he calls timeout. The referee saw him in time, and so he gave him the timeout. If not, it would have been offsides.
If Young snaps the ball.
Now, what the 49ers are doing is they went to the punt team, so all they had done was they've made the Detroit Lions waste the timeout.
Belgray goes back, and Klaus Wilmsmeyer, who got off a beauty in his 1st punt. Another great kick by Wilmsmeyer. And that'll bounce at the 1 and go into the end zone for the touchback. That nearly stayed in play. Nate Singleton was there to down it. Well, opening Friday at a theater near you, our own John Madden and Ed O'Neill star in the new motion picture comedy Little Giants. And tonight they'll be hosting the Fox Sunday night lineup. Serious, Matt. It's all part of Little Giants night, brought to you in part by Warner Brothers tonight on Fox.
But you kidding me? You're trying to tell me that this guy now is a movie star?
But he is.
Look at that. Who is he? Who is he?
He looks like it, doesn't he?
That's a football coach. Madden is pure and simple a football coach, and wait till I call him and tell him that he thinks he's a movie star.
1st down on the 20-yard line. 2 tight ends with Rodney Holman for the Lions. Pitch to Barry Sanders. Sanders gets it close to the 20-yard line, and right now let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. JB?
Hey, Dick, if John Madden is a football coach, then Andre Rison is a sure enough football player. Take a look at this Jeff George 36-yard pass to Andre Rison. Atlanta with less than 2 minutes left in the 1st. They lead it 14-0. Back to the Silverdome, Dick Stockton and Matt Miller.
Atlanta Falcons are itching for the 49ers to come there next week, and they're not going to let the Tampa Bay Bucs stand in their way.
2nd down and 6 at the 24. Harriman goes in motion. Again, they go to Barry Sanders. And Sanders picks up a few. He'll leave him short by about 2.5 yards. Ken Norton Jr. made the stop.
And this is what Ken Norton does not do well. He's not attacking. He's got to be able to come up and whack it. Watch Ken Norton right here. See what he'll do? He'll work down the line, and he'll wait, and then he'll wait for the back to come to him. You can't do that. See, in this scheme, he's got to go up and attack that tackle. By attacking the tackle, he takes the pressure off the end, and then you make that play in the line of scrimmage. All week long, the coaches have been harping on Norton to get up and smack somebody.
Ricky Jackson, who had been on the sidelines, has come in the game. 3rd down and 2 on the 28-yard line to put pressure on Mitchell. He's got time, and he completes the pass for the first down to Herman Moore.
Confidence. That's what you're seeing right now. And confidence is the one thing that Ken Norton is lacking at this point. He came over with the big reputation, and he's a good football player. But there are some things that he's not doing right now. The first thing, Ken Norton, he's a sure tackler. Once he gets his sights on you, he'll get you. But he's not physical at the point. They need him to step up in the line of scrimmage and smack people. What he's got to do, he's got to come out swinging like his pop. Guy's got to turn into a fighter and really start to hit somebody.
Like a heavyweight champ. 1st and 10. And Sanders puts on the Jets and has another first down for the Lions. That's Sanders' best run of the game. Lee Woodall brings him down, but not before he picks up 11 big yards.
And Sanders is running. I'll tell you what is happening right now. The Detroit Lion offensive line is taking over the game. Watch how all the white rear ends come at you. And all the blue-shirted guys are pushing. See Charles Mann get pushed off the ball down into Merton Hanks. Once you get Sanders past the line of scrimmage, it can be a home run.
And Merton Hanks is shaken up on the far sideline as the clock runs down. And that is the end of the first quarter here at the Pontiac Silverdome with the score, the Lions 7 and the 49ers nothing. First quarter statistics, Barry Sanders has 38 yards. Lions have outrushed the Niners 38-5 and have dominated the time of possession in every category, as Scott Mitchell, who had problems with completion percentage, is a perfect 4 for 4 with a touchdown pass to Perriman, the only score of the game.
Yeah, see this right here? That yards, 38 yards, that's Barry Sanders, and he's running like he knew he was going to do. And then Mitchell, all you saw there was confidence.
Dana Hall has replaced Merton Hanks at free safety for the Niners. 1st and 10 as we start the second quarter. Sanders cutting up the middle. And he'll get about 7 with Ken Norton there.
Boy, Lutz just blew somebody off the ball. The right side of that line came down. Waddell and Lutz, and they just crushed the left side of that defense. It just opened the whole thing up for Sanders. Watch these guys right here. They're going to come down and open this whole thing up inside. Watch, boom, Waddell, and then Lutz, and then there's just a huge hole. And then Lutz blocks the first guy, then he gets his hands on Norton.
So far, the Lion offensive line has done the job, and the Niners have not. 2nd down and 3. Again, they go to the meal ticket. Barry Sanders. And he gets the first down before going out of bounds at the 43.
He's unbelievable, that guy. How the heck do you do that? I mean, you can't practice it. I asked him the other day, do you play this game in your mind? Because so many times the great players will play things in their mind. Look at Sanders' eyes. He's not playing anything in his mind. He's just pure reaction. Now, you can't teach this. Take Dana Hall, put the brakes on, then bounce back outside, and then watch his strength. He doesn't get tackled.
But he gets nervous before a game, he told us.
He gets so nervous he falls asleep.
51 yards already for Barry Sanders. First down on the Niner 43. Play fake. Mitchell, pass, and a diving catch by Brett Perriman. Perriman and Moore have made 2 brilliant catches already in this first half. Eric Davis covering, and Perriman shaken up a bit.
Yeah, he's a little shaken up, but he's going to come right back on his. Watch the effort at the end. The ball's thrown low and outside, and he's just going to break and actually leaves his feet. He kind of dives for the ball at the end. All this is effort, and then he eats the ball. See that? Boom. See how he fell right on top of it? Just knocked the air out of him. He's going to get right back up.
He'll go out right now, and Johnny Morton, the rookie from Southern Cal, will replace him. Timeout, will return.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the totally new Ford Contour, a world car for the 21st century. By Russell Athletic, for really tough athletic wear that can survive anything. Get Russell Athletic. Get tough. By Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Warner Brothers' new motion picture Little Giants, starting Friday, October 14th at a theater near you.
Dick Stockton and Matt Millen at the Pontiac Silverdome. Dana Hall remains in the secondary. Merton Hanks had bleeding from the nose. That's why he had to come out. It is a first down for the Lions on the Niners 30. That's Johnny Morton, the rookie, in motion. Sanders gets a couple. To the 27, a pickup of 3. Brian Young, aggressive #1 draft pick up front for the Niners there.
What they're doing right now, Dick, they're running to the bubble. That's what they call running to the bubble. They'll see where the backers are lined up, and that's like the weak part of the defense, and then they'll just come out and try to get the penetration, especially if you don't have a backer stepping up. You already gain yourself 3 yards.
Brett Perriman is back in there. It'll be 2nd and 7. Scott Mitchell, pass. And it's caught by Perriman as he beat Eric Davis on the far sidelines. Perriman shaken up, went out for one play and comes back and yet makes another great catch.
You know, speaking to Brett Perriman, he said, I'm going to school these guys this week. He said, this is my kind of game. You know, what he can't count on, though, is the time. Look at the time he has, and then watch the break outside. The ball's thrown. Actually, Eric Davis with a nice close, but sometimes you can't get away from everything that happens. You can't defend everything perfectly. You're going to make plays.
Ron Hall, shaken up, goes out. 1st and goal. Barry Sanders.
Unbelievable.
He'll get there, and he will. Touchdown, Lions.
Watch Sanders. You know what he does? He beats the block. He beats these guys by just one move. See, he dips inside, and what that does, Woodall bites right there. See, Woodall bit inside, and that opened the outside for Sanders.
3rd touchdown rushing for Barry Sanders, and the Lions now lead it 13-0. And they have played virtually a perfect game thus far. Here's Jason Hanson. And he makes it 14-0. So once again, the Niners open up flat, and they're behind by a couple of scores. A lot of grim faces over on the Niners sideline. They've been stung by 2 Lion touchdowns, and their offense hasn't done much either. And Barry Sanders gives the Lions their first rushing touchdown against San Francisco in 20 quarters. Got to go back to James Jones back in 1985 for the last one. Hanson will kick off, and Dexter Carter is deep. Another good kickoff. And Carter this time will down it in the end zone. He ran back the first 2 from there.
Dick, you know, the interesting thing on that touchdown, Barry Sanders made the run. You know who made the play? Brett Perriman. Brett Perriman has a tremendous block. I want you to watch him right here on Woodall. And then he'll get into Woodall, and then watch Sanders as he sets that outside guy up. There's the one. Now watch back inside right here. See this? He makes the mistake of dipping back inside. Your help is in here. Once he commits inside, it gives him the corner. Whenever you're blocking for Barry Sanders, you have to basketball guys. You don't try to overpower them. You stay in their way.
On the kickoff. 5 yards.
Offsides against the Lions, and the 49ers will want another kick. And right now, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. Go ahead, JB.
All right, Dick, it's a not very healthy Chris Miller at the helm for the Rams, and he's mindful of the fact he's still banged up, running for his life here, looking desperately for an open receiver. Guess who? That man, Troy Drayton, again, his 2nd touchdown reception today. Rams lead at 14-3. Back to the Silverdome. Dick Stockton, Matt Millen.
Packers struggling, but today the Lions, who have lost 2 in a row after beating Dallas in an impressive Monday night game, are leading here. So it looks like the Lions seem to play their best against the toughest team.
Well, you know, they told us this week that they liked the game plan that they had. The Detroit Lions liked the game plan. They felt like the last 2 weeks they didn't really settle in on what they were doing, but now they've liked exactly what they were doing. And Steve Kaiser, the special teams coach, had been having problems. And a lot of heat was turned up on him this week. So what he did, he started to put some of his starters back in on special teams.
Roderick Thomas, Chris Spielman, and Benny Blades all return to coverage on the special teams. Hansen will kick off from the 25-yard line following the offsides penalty. So this should be returnable for Dexter Carter.
Just a good kick.
We'll start from the 1. You're right. Dexter Carter brings it out in an outstanding return to the 38-yard line where Harry Colon makes the tackle. Well, today's Aflac trivia question is, who was the last Detroit quarterback to be selected to the Pro Bowl? No hints. No hints today.
I got this one wrong.
That's why we're not going to give him any hints.
That's right. I said Scott Mitchell.
That was a 36-yard return to set up a first down for the Niners on their 37. They trail 14-0. Steve Young up top. And will have a penalty against Ryan McNeil. Blatant holding that time against Jerry Rice.
Look at those officials. You know, once the one guy made the call, they felt real confident about throwing that other one. Heck, that center official threw it about 20 yards.
First down.
So things start to go bad. What do? You go back to the guy who can break a game open. And McNeil knows that. He just got the hand stuck inside.
Sprained left knee is the word on Paul, and it's doubtful that he'll return. That's going to hurt the Lions a bit. 21-yard penalty as against Detroit gives San Francisco a first down on the Lion 42. Young with a middle screen to William Floyd. He's big, 30 pounds more than Logan, who he replaced. Massey makes the stop on Floyd.
It's a good play by Robert Massey. Robert Massey bought himself some time. He had a big old fat lineman in front of him, and you'd think that you're going to get run over. All Massey does is he gets his hands on him and just gives it the old back pedal. And he buys time because eventually the feet of the lineman, Jesse Sapolo, are going to, he's going to lose his feet. See how he lost him? He just bought time and he came back and he made the tackle on Floyd.
Mark Logan started to come in and then he went back. Floyd's all right. First down on the 27 now. Brent Jones in motion. Here's Pat Swilling with pressure, and they dump it off to Brent Jones up the middle. And the Niners will have a first and goal.
Boy, that was very, very well conceived. Look how Young looks everybody off, looks over to his left. They look like they're going to throw a screen, and then Brent Jones will come in motion, and he'll just pop right over here. Watch Young, looks over here. Look how they're going to cut him. They show everything to the side over here, and then Jones delays, and look at how everything opens up right down the middle. Very well conceived.
And a 20-yard gain, the biggest of the day for the Niners. First and goal at the 7. Here's Ricky Waters.
That's the way the 49ers have to run the football. You see the difference right away? Ricky Waters took the ball, shoulders squared, and boom, right up the middle. No dancing, no going outside, just pound it, square your shoulders. Now this guy, Waters, you know, he's got some magic, and he can run around to the outside. He has speed. He's most effective when he runs with power.
Waters gained only 22 yards last week against the Eagles because they were behind. Second and goal at the 1. And here is Floyd. And Floyd is over for the touchdown.
And Ricky Waters with a nice block.
First NFL start for William Floyd, taken on the first round out of Florida State. And a touchdown.
Which one scored? They're both goofy. Look at it. They get up screaming, both and screaming. And really, that was a concern for the 49ers. And Steve Young's not real thrilled with that. Watch up top. That's Ricky. Ricky Waters going to get a nice block, and then Floyd lowers his shoulder and just runs through Spielman. Good power.
Doug Bryan is on. He has missed one conversion this year. But this one is good, and so the 49ers come back with a big touchdown. Let's see how the Lions respond. Still leading 14-7. Steve Young leading the Niners on a scoring drive, 14-7. And the answer to today's Aflac trivia question is, the last Detroit quarterback to be selected to the Pro Bowl was Greg Landry in 1972.
You see that picture right there? Right there, that's Pops Otto. 72, that means Madden was on the sideline before he was a movie star, when he was still a coach.
Did you bring that picture with you today?
Yes.
And another Pro Bowler back to return in Mel Gray. Doug Bryan will be kicking off. Gray set to establish kick return records in the NFL. On the 2-yard line. Gray, one of the best, and he's hit hard after leaping over a teammate. And it was Antonio London who he jumped over. Well, next week, Fox NFL Sunday begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, with the hottest one-hour pregame show on television. And then, except for Pittsburgh, it's a Fox doubleheader. 49ers Atlanta could be for first place in the NFC West. Same for Philadelphia Dallas in the NFC East.
Now, they both could be a lot of fun. Philadelphia really playing well. And I felt like their defense was going to be pretty good at the start of the season, and they've not proved anybody wrong.
Burton Hanks is back in the lineup for the Niners secondary. It'll be a first down for Scott Mitchell and the Lions on their 23. Sanders nowhere to go, and Norton got a hold of his foot, and a gain of 2.
Good job by the defensive line of the San Francisco 49ers, particularly Bryant Young, the big rookie, number 97. Now, what he does very well is he's a strong guy, and he'll get into you, but he's still a rookie. He still makes rookie mistakes. At times, he doesn't understand the defense. At times, he'll jump back inside and give a seam, but he's going to be a very good football player. This kid has a lot of promise.
Ty Halleck and Rodney Holman are 2 tight ends with Hall injured. The pitch to the left side. Sanders.
Yeah, there's Bryant Young again.
Looks like the Niners are spelling out that pitch play now.
And you know what he did? Bryant Young just came right down the line. Now, this is one of those things you can't teach. Watch him right here. They're going to try to block down, and then he'll just trail. And what he does very, very well, he's nice and tight. See how he stays right down the line, expecting Sanders to cut back. And, heck, he actually beats him to the point. That's a big play.
Loss of 2 yards for Barry Sanders.
What they wanted to do, the 49ers wanted to take Sanders out of the running game so that Mitchell had to throw third and long. Now they have it.
Niners a lot more aggressive after they were trailing by 2 scores. 3rd down and 10 out of the shotgun, and the pass is deflected, intended for Barry Sanders. That's the first time this year the Lions have used the shotgun.
Right.
Dana Stubblefield got a hand.
Yeah, it looks right now that the 49ers have gone back to what they saw in the film, the tapes against the Minnesota Vikings. Let their tackles get very active. Let Dana Stubblefield come up. That time he blocked the pass. And then Bryant Young 2 plays in a row.
That's the first incompletion by Scott Mitchell, and you can see the Niners have changed their demeanor, haven't they, lately?
Yes, they certainly have, and that goes back to Ray Rhodes up in the booth. He's gotten more aggressive with his calls.
Greg Montgomery will kick. Dexter Carter is back.
Hey, you got Van Malone jumping outside.
For the snap, false start, number 39. 5 yards, it's still 4th down.
That's tough position right there where Van Malone's in. He's wide, and he's the bullet guy. He's the guy who's supposed to get down field first. And so that's the one position on the punt team that you have to have a game plan for. You get it in your mind before the snap of the ball, and then there was a little bit of delay, and he jumped into it.
Steve Kaiser remembers last week when Vernon Turner returned an 80-yard kick. Here's Dexter Carter, but a beauty off the foot of Montgomery. And Carter brings it out to the 39-yard line, and Scott Kolakowski bringing him down. 55-yard kick. And the 49ers, and we have another flag down way back on the 20-yard line. We're filled with the yellow flags today, Matt.
Yeah, and on special teams. It's been mostly all special teams.
And Kaiser is upset. That may be an ineligible receiver penalty.
Not a happy camper.
That's been really an Achilles heel for Detroit.
Ineligible, number 55, downfield, 5 yards, re-kick.
Now, I don't know how far back they can go. It'll be half the distance. Antonio London that time.
Next, Steve Young is so excited to get the ball back. He knows he's got something going. His offense started to click.
Look at the penalties now. 49ers had them early, but now Detroit is caught up and past San Francisco.
And then that's not good. That's the one thing you don't want to do, is pass the other team in penalty yardage.
That's not a good number to win. So
Greg Montgomery, though, he's a good punter. I mean, he can make that 5 yards up pretty easy.
Except he's moved back twice on penalties and now will kick from his end zone. Last one went 55 yards.
Nice kick.
Carter, chance to run it in Lion territory, and a big difference following that penalty. So special teams continues to plague the Detroit Lions, and Benny Blades makes the stop after a return of 22. That talked about Ray Rhodes on the left, and in the middle is Bill McPherson and Mike Shanahan next to him.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator and former Florida coach and my former head coach at the Los Angeles Raiders. I mean, he coached the Raiders so well they canned him. but a very, very bright guy. And right now, he's got Steve Young on this offense changed. I mean, you can see the difference and actually feel it up here.
I call Shanahan astute.
Astute?
Yeah, that's a good description for
He's that'd be about right. Astute. What does that mean? What is that? Is that good?
I'll tell you later. There's the offensive line with Paul Boudreau, the offensive line coach who played at Boston College and coached there as well. And, of course, the Eagles beating Notre Dame yesterday for the second straight year.
You had to get that in, didn't you?
Well,
Cole Kowski, the domer, told me don't mention that score on the air.
I didn't mention the score. I just gave the result. First and 10 on the Lion 42. Niners trail by a touchdown. Steve Young's pass to Ricky Waters and knocked out of bounds by Ryan McNeil. And they say he stayed in bounds, so the clock continues to run.
The 49ers come back now. They're just starting to get in that rhythm. Start to throw the short stuff. Get the ball to Rice when you have to. Waters running inside, shoulders squared up. This is what they wanted to do to start.
Tracy Scroggins, who's a pass rusher in there, number 97 defensively for the Lions. Second down and 6. Lining up on the top. Swilling puts pressure on, and the pass to Jerry Rice. Going underneath, McNeil covering again, and a gain of 5.
Nicely done by Steve Young. And Swilling right on top of him. Young rolling to his left. Remember, he's a lefty. Now watch Swilling get his paw on him right there. And he still throws the ball.
Rice has caught 3 for 27 yards. It'll be third down and 1. 2 tight ends for the Niners. Taylor in motion, and here is Floyd, and he's got enough for the first down. William Floyd, and according to George Seifert, he was destined to start, got better every week, and is in there today in a gain of 7.
Yeah, and you know what he's done? He's leading John Taylor, or following rather, John Taylor, number 82. Now watch Taylor, he gets in there. The one thing JT will do, John Taylor is a tough guy. He's really a tight end in a wide receiver body. If you ask him to block anything, he'll block it.
John Taylor did not catch a pass last week in the loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. That rarely happens. First down on the 26 of Detroit. Young. Screen to William Floyd. Penalty marker down, and Floyd will go in for the score. They say out of bounds, but there's a flag down at the 35.
Boy, when they said they were going to use Floyd, they weren't kidding. They put him on the short yards. He shows that burst of speed to get back outside.
He'll bring it back.
And then they throw the little screen pass back underneath. The big man. Big, strong man. He's also very, very emotional.
Holding number 75 of the offense.
That's the new man in the line,
10
Frank
yards.
Pollock,
Repeat
starting
first
at
down.
right tackle today.
Frank Pollock, 75. They're going to run the screen. Pollock is going to take Scroggins on, and now he's got to just push him up the field. Well, I got to tell you what, I didn't see a hold. I didn't see it anywhere.
Pollock in place of Boatswain, and they're looking forward to the day that Harris Barton gets back and Ralph Tam on the right side.
Yeah, and there's Harris coaching away, because Harris saw the thing the whole way, and he knew there was no hold.
First down and 20. Steve Young with 3 wide receivers goes to Brent Jones, and it was Chris Spielman defending on the play.
Nice break by Spielman. Get right on top of Jones, but I got to be honest with you, that should have been caught. You know, the last 2 weeks, the 49ers have dropped more passes than I can ever remember. And again, Steve Young, the ball is getting there, the ball's dropped. Early last week, a couple of tips resulted in interceptions, and that killed him. These guys are too talented to drop balls.
And McCaffrey is in.
And it shouldn't happen in this league anyway.
I think this is a big possession of this half for the Niners.
And also for the Detroit Lions.
Young's pass to McCaffrey. And he's ganged up on by a host of Lions led by Greg Jeffries. So McCaffrey in the ball game, the former New York Giant, and a gain of 8 yards.
Yeah, and look at Robert Massey right in the middle of that. You know, he's starting to get some attitude. And defense is played with attitude. Defense is the one side of the ball where you can really be emotional and you can let it flow. And Robert Massey's that kind of guy. Roderick Thomas is that kind of guy. You know, you can get mad, you can let your anger just start to fester, and you take it out on somebody, all playing within the scheme.
And this is an emotional secondary that the Lions have. 3rd and 12. Young up the middle, and will have a flag down. Holding on John Taylor. Another obvious hold on Detroit.
Again, that's the same pass that they threw to Brent Jones earlier. This time, it's just with John Taylor. They'll start everything out. Watch John Taylor inside, and it comes quick. And all he's trying to do is get to the inside quick. They're anticipating a blitz.
Pass interference, number 25 of the defense. First down.
They had him all the way. See what happens is they're anticipating a blitz. They see everybody starting to come up the line of scrimmage, and they want to get to the center of the field because they know the corners are way outside and the middle of the field's wide open.
Niners have had some costly penalties, but this is the costliest of the day for the Lions because it gives the 49ers a first down when they had long yardage to go. They're on the 18. Penalties are 14 in the game, 8 for Detroit. The pitch is to Mark Logan. And Logan gets close to the 10-yard line where Mike Johnson collides with him. An 8-yard pickup for Logan as Floyd is on the sideline now.
What the Detroit Lions are doing is they're playing both their safeties over the top. They're keeping one safety over the top of Jerry Rice, and then the other safety is staying halves on the other side. When you say halves, they split the field in half, and they play one safety on either side. What that does then is open up the middle of the field, so you try to get somebody right through the middle.
2nd down and 2. And they go to Logan again, and Logan gets to the 12, should have a first down. Roderick Thomas on the tackle. On the last possession, when the Niners scored, there was a 21-yard penalty to start the series. Now a big penalty gives the Niners life and a chance to tie the game.
And now it's time for the defense of the Detroit Lions to pull their drawers up and get tough. You know, and it starts in the middle of that defense. It starts with Spielman and Spindler and Mike Johnson. Those 3 guys right there, that's the heart of that defense. And right now, the 49ers are attacking their heart.
1st and goal on the 7. Here's Floyd. Battles his way to the 4. Pritchett might have been in on the play.
Yeah, well, again, there's the heart right there. We just talked about Spindler right in the middle of that thing, number 93. Spielman, Mike Johnson, all of them right there. That's the heart and soul of the defense, particularly 93 Spielman. Spielman is the one guy on that defense that really comes to play. I mean, they all come to play, but he comes with emotion. And he's kind of the emotional leader of that defense.
Starting his first game of the season today. 2nd down and goal on the 4. Here is Ricky Waters, and he goes in for the score. Ricky Watters with his second touchdown of the year.
You can feel the table turning. Okay? You can feel confidence, the 49ers, like they know they belong there. This was good play calling by the 49ers. Twice they pounded it inside. On number 3, they let Watters use his speed. Nice block by Floyd. Not only one, he gets 2 guys with 1 block, and that allows Watters to get in.
Doug Bryan will attempt to tie the game. So the Niners have come back after trailing 14-0. Bad snap, but the kick is good. And the game is tied at 14-14. And once again, Lion penalties gave the Niners good field position.
Chris Spielman has the read down perfect. But what he doesn't have perfect is the block of William Floyd. He's going to try to jump over him. And what that does, see, watch, he goes over. Floyd with 1 block. Now watch the second one. Mike Johnson takes him out just enough of a nick. William Floyd knocks down 2 with 1. It's a 2-for-1 sale. And that allows Watters. You see the first one. And then Watters, just watch him dip his shoulder on McNeil. See that? Right into the end zone.
Well, the Lions have had 2 long drives for their touchdowns, and the 49ers have had 2 short drives for their scores. And William Floyd, with his first NFL start, has scored a touchdown and also a key block for Watters.
And then the defense now on the Detroit Lions, they have to regroup. Because what they had been doing well early is kind of falling apart. So what do? Go back to basics. Everybody do their job. Don't try to make every play by yourself.
Doug Bryan's kick fielded by Mel Gray. Great running by Mel Gray as he moved the pile. And Todd Kelly and Scroggins were going at it, and a 30-yard return with Antonio Goss finally making the play. Well, for these 2 cops, the biggest danger in working deep cover is getting in too deep. Critics are calling them the coolest cops since Miami Vice. Watch New York Undercover Thursday at 9, 8 Central following Martin and Living Single. 49ers struggled in their first 4 possessions of the ball game. 2 punts, and then they scored their last 2 possessions. First down on the 38. Winding down to the 2-minute warning. Out of the shotgun, Scott Mitchell's pass intended for Barry Sanders. Incomplete. And we're down to the 2-minute warning with 1:59 showing on the clock. Matt and I will be back to the Silverdome in a moment. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, James and Terry will have all the scores and highlights. Plus, we'll look at this year's best bone-jarring hits in a new edition of Crunch Time. That's all coming up next on the Dockers halftime. 2-minute warning here, and there is what they did when Burton Hanks went out with bleeding from the nose. I guess he's not anymore.
You know what that looks like? And I've had that before. That looks like his helmet came down and probably gouged the top of his nose. I'm taking a guess, but I have no skin on the top of mine to know that that happened.
49ers will be in their nickel with Dana Hall, the extra back. Much better performance for Scott Mitchell, but his team is tied 14-14. Second down and 10. Again out of the shotgun. And the inside handoff to Barry Sanders. Doesn't get much thanks to Gary Plummer.
49ers are starting to attack. It's what they were talking about all week long. Particularly their backers. They needed Norton and Plummer to start attacking.
49ers have called a timeout. Remember, the Lions have only 1 left. 49ers have used up a timeout because they have a design of getting the ball back for one last shot. And Scott Mitchell's Lions have 1 timeout remaining. 14-14 to score. And if the Lions were to get something on the board before the end of the half, that would really help stem what has been a Niner tide lately. 3rd down and 8 on the Detroit 40. Scott Mitchell drills it, and the pass is caught by Aubrey Mitchell in San Francisco territory, and a first down, and the hurry up is on. 15-yard pickup.
49ers came in zone, Matthews just set down in the zone and a perfect strike.
Mitchell swings it out to Barry Sanders, and he caught the ball for a gain of less than a yard. Merton Hanks was right on it. So the clock is still running with 1:20. And a flag is down. Let's see if we'll have a false start against the offense.
For the snap, false start on number 66. Please reset the clock.
Sean Bowen.
At 1:02.
I want to remind you the game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Detroit Lions and the National Football League is prohibited.
That takes them back. It'll be, what, 2nd and 14. 49ers right now are just sitting back in the zone, but the one zone that the Lions have not been going to has been Deion Sanders' side. We haven't, but one time they won early in the game and not since.
2nd down and 15. Scott Mitchell under pressure, and his pass intended for Perriman, and
He must have heard me.
Deion Sanders got turned around.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Perriman was looking forward to Deion. He wanted to play him. You know, and Scott Mitchell's told me that I want to go after Deion Sanders. He says, I would really like to attack him because nobody really does. Well, you know, he's only gone after him 2 times. One incompletion, and then Herman Moore with a completion early in the game.
Once again, the Lions are faced with a 3rd down with 53 seconds remaining. And remember, the Niners have 2 timeouts left. Tried the stutter count. Mitchell chased by Brian Young. And Ricky Jackson, and
That's a
fumbles the
fumble.
ball.
He should pick that up. Oh, that was a good job.
And a flag is down as well. We got everything on the far side, including George Seifert screaming at the official.
Did you see Wydell at the end? He knew it was a live ball. He came over and kicked it out of bounds. That's a good play.
Can't you do that?
Yeah, you can, so nobody else can get it.
Intentional grounding. Number
Loss of
19.
down.
Loss of down. 4th down.
Yeah, Mitchell gets pressure from Bryant Young, and then he gets on his horse. He runs outside. I think that was a fumble, to be honest with you. And I think that's what George Seifert says, too. And you see it, Wydell comes up and gives it a good kick. Not a happy guy right there.
It's been a rough week for Coach Seifert. He mentioned, though, his wife is climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. I think she's having a better time.
He said, we're not playing very well, so she took off to Africa.
So Greg Montgomery will kick it away with 44 seconds remaining, and Dexter Carter to return.
You know, I think that was a fumble. I don't think he was trying to throw that
agree
ball.
with you.
I think it got away from him.
He didn't get that arm up over his shoulder.
No way. And that thing came out. That was a loose ball. And because it was a loose ball, I think Wydell makes a big play in kicking it out of bounds. BC guy. Big Wydell. Watch the end of this. Tell me if it looks like he's going to throw. See, he's not throwing at all. That is a loose ball all the way. And then everybody kind of puts the brakes on. Stubblefield has a shot at it. Now watch right at the end. Here comes Wydell.
By rule.
A boot. It's a good play.
Foul for intentional grounding inside of 2 minutes. There's a 10-second runoff, and the clock will start on the umpire's ready signal. Please reset the clock.
But he did not ground that ball at all. He lost it.
Yeah. And George Seifert's right. Actually, they get a double whammy. First of all, it was a free ball. They had a shot at it. And then secondly, they make the play, and they're making a bad call, and now they're penalizing the 49ers by taking 10 seconds off the clock.
Doesn't make sense.
Oh, well, that's why they put it in. No, in the National Football League, when it came to the Rules Committee, never makes sense.
So now there are 32 seconds remaining. Montgomery going for the sideline. And Dexter Carter will see the ball bounce, and it will be downed at the 1-foot yard line by Van Malone.
The 1 foot yard line?
Or the 1 foot, or the yard line,
The yard foot, or the 1 yard foot line.
How about the foot?
And Kaiser is happy. Now, the whole first half has fallen apart for him. This is the one place you can go into the locker room with the special teams on a high. And Dexter Carter's hoping that's going to go in. And watch Van Malone come in. Make sure he doesn't go in. If any part of his body touches that white line,
or the foot, right?
yeah, then he becomes, his shoe can't be 13 inches or 12 inches. Or his hand, or one of those things. Hand is 12 inches, it becomes a foot, right?
1 foot yard line.
That's right. The 1 yard foot line.
Not trying anything fancy on the 1 foot yard line, and that'll be the last play of the first half. New terminology in football. Well, you have new rules, you can have new terminology. That'll do it.
We got a whole new half also. 14-14, and the 49ers turned the tide.
Lions had a 2-touchdown lead, and the Niners came back to tie it up. And that's the end of the first half with the score. The 49ers 14 and the Lions 14. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station.
Don't just get dressed. Get Dockers.
All right, and welcome to the Dockers halftime report. Right now in the Silverdome, the score is all tied up at 14 apiece. That after San Francisco spotted Detroit 14 points. Barry Sanders, boy, he had a strong first half, 69 yards.
Well, he did, but let's talk about this man, Scott Mitchell. Pump, safety, bites on the pump, down to the middle, then turn it around, go to the corner. Perriman, 33-yard TD reception, lines up by 7, hand it off to the man. Sanders inside, nothing, inside again, nothing. Finally bounces outside. Look at that, 14-0. Detroit, but in comes the 49ers as Raymond Floyd. That's the golfer. William Floyd scores. Now, watch him throw 2 key blocks, and there's water going in. Score tied up, 14-all. 49ers and the Lions. How'd that do?
We know you like to golf. No doubt about it. You got the little comment in at a time.
Sure.
And I said Barry Sanders, 69 yards. I gave him 4 too many. He's got 65 in the first half. All right, move to the Windy City, where Chicago is entertaining the Saints. Saints lead it 7-0. Saints 79 yards on the ground in the first half, but Jim Everett's the man.
Comeback player of the year, Jim Everett. A lot of folks were laughing about that. Deep in routes, best routes in all of football are in routes, because no one thinks a quarterback will throw them there. And if you do have the patience and poise to do it, there are huge holes there, and you can have a lot of fun. I had more fun throwing to Swan and Stallworth on deep in routes. They catch them, they break it, and they go all the way.
Well, who wouldn't with that pair, Stallworth and Swan?
What
My
about
goodness.
me, though, JB?
Well,
what about me?
Give you credit. That's right. Okay, we'll move along. All right, New Orleans leading at 7-0.
call my own plays.
All right, the Rams and the Packers. Rams leading at 17-3. Chris Miller at the helm, despite being banged up. 2 superstars right along with Terry chit-chatting there.
Brett Favre having a rough time. I don't know why he threw this here, but there he is, and there's my man. Darrell Henley returns this interception, 33 yards to set up the first Ram touchdown. I don't know what happened, but this is great play action. Chris Miller finds his tight end, Drayton, for the touchdown. Hey, the Rams look good. You know, we would never say this at the beginning of the season, but the Rams look good.
And you look good in your career as well. Give him credit. Okay, so the Rams lead that one 17-3. Called his own plays. Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Atlanta spanking Tampa Bay by the score of 24-3. Craig Hayward running the ball there. Jeff George, another guy you like.
Like Jeff George, although he's had a couple of picks, but Hayward with the 2 touchdown runs, there's one there. Atlanta looks good. You got to love speed. Jimmy Johnson loves speed. He'll like coaching Tampa when he's down there. There's Andre Rice, and boy, he blows by everybody. Touchdown, you like that.
Oh, you got Jimmy Johnson down there, huh? All right, Craig Erickson has been benched. Trent Dilfer is in to replace him right now. Terry's got Jimmy everywhere. Buffalo is leading Miami. The score there, 7-3, a 1-yard touchdown run by Thurman Thomas. And the New York Jets and Indianapolis Colts all tied at 6 apiece. And welcome back to Dockers Halftime. You know, this season has had some great hits, plays, runs, and passes. And chances are you haven't had a chance to see all of these, unless, that is, you have 15 VCRs and 40 hours in a day. But we're here to change all of that. In the coming weeks, we'll show you all those plays you just don't have the time to see. And we begin with the best hits so far this season. We call it Crunch Time. Boy, if there was any doubt about whether or not football players earn their money, I'm sure those highlights convinced you firmly. And we'll have highlights like that for you in future halftimes right here on the Dockers Halftime. And we'll have more on the Dockers Halftime after this.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
And the Lions, and this first half highlight is brought to you by MCI Proof Positive.
And I think this is the first half turnaround in a nutshell. And it comes off William Floyd, the fullback. You know, what they decided to do is they decided to start taking it to the Lions. They started to get a little bit more physical at the point. And when they do that, that allows Waters to run better.
Matt, where did the momentum change? And it definitely did change from the Lions having it early and the Niners having it later.
Well, I think it happened in the middle of the second quarter. And it's not one specific play, but what it was a little change of philosophy for the Lions. All of a sudden, they had been powering football and getting physical at the point, and then for some reason, they got away from that. I don't understand why.
Well, let's take a look at the halftime statistics, and buried in there will be the penalties, and 10 penalties against the Lions, and some of them really hurt and gave the Niners good field position when they went in for their 2 scores.
No turnovers is good, and then you look at the total yards, they're actually outgaining the 49ers.
All right, Matt, for more right now, let's go down to the field to the third member of our team, Kevin Frazier. Kevin?
Dick, Matt, just talked to Coach Fonts. He said that the Lions want to get physical again like they did in the first quarter. They also want to mix things up, try and throw the ball on first down, get things going. He feels that they let San Francisco get a little too physical, take the momentum away from them. We'll see what happens in the second half. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Isn't that amazing? Now, Fonts sees the same thing that I see. The guy's a smart guy. Saw the same thing. Actually, at halftime, then, I went out here and I saw Chuck Schmidt. And Chuck Schmidt felt like the same thing had happened, that for some reason they had gotten away from being physical and attacking.
Chuck Schmidt, of course, the general manager of the Detroit Lions. There's Steve Young, who was 7 for 11 and 74 yards passing in the first half.
Remember, we talked in the beginning about him getting pounded. Now, he has not been sacked at all. He has been hurried 4 times, and twice he's been knocked to the ground. But really, I think the 49er offensive line regrouped after the initial 2 series, and they've settled into their game.
Young went out briefly for a couple of plays when he had an injured left knee, but he came back, and he's been sharp. As the Niners getting set, Frank Pollock, who's manning the right tackle position for the Niners today.
And doing a pretty good job. I think Frank Pollock's come in, and he's held that backside, which is Young's blind side, pretty well. No pressure has come that way. The only time he ever showed up was on a hold.
Well, we'll see how the Lions do offensively as far as aggressiveness is concerned. Mel Gray, who has averaged 25 yards a kick return, is back deep, and Doug Bryan, the rookie from the University of California, will kick off for the 49ers. End over end and returnable for Gray.
It's unbelievable.
Fumble. And a loose ball. I don't think anyone hit him. I think he just lost that ball.
Yeah, he did. And I think Ty Hallett came up with it. He's on the bottom of the pile. And watch this. They're fighting for it down there. And they're going to call it Detroit ball. But Ty Hallett was getting ready to block somebody, and then he just got out of Mel Gray's way. Heck, Mel Gray's running so well, he dodged him. And then the ball popped out, and because Halleck hadn't blocked somebody, he jumped on the ball. Watch how Halleck avoids him. Now watch, the ball's going to come out, and Halleck's just standing there taking the whole thing in, and the ball comes out, and, you know, he does the instinctive thing and gets under the game.
You know, Ed McCaffrey came in, and he might have gotten a piece of it. In any event, the Lions will start from their 18-yard line as we begin the second half. Steve Kaiser, the special teams coach for the Lions, tied at 14. And a play action on first down. Plenty of time for Scott Mitchell, and the pass is intercepted. Merton Hanks inside the 20. And a big play for the 49ers defense here to start the second half.
Scott Mitchell just threw right into the heart of a 3-deep zone. Merton Hanks just played center field and watched the ball come to him. You see, he just sat right in the middle. They tried to get more into the seam. Hanks beat him there. And then he has the big interception. So the Detroit Lions saying they're going to be more aggressive, and their aggressive play manifests itself in going play action and trying to hit the slot.
39-yard return following the pick by Hanks. It was intended for Herman Moore.
You can be honest with you, that ball hung in the air long enough that if Merton Hanks doesn't make the pick, probably Deion Sanders has one.
And to make matters worse for the Lions, Lomas Brown, their best offensive lineman and left tackle, seems to have an injured knee.
That's not good for the Detroit Lions. He is their best offensive lineman.
Great start for the 49ers. That is the second interception this year for Merton Hanks. As Atlanta winning, the New Orleans still leading Chicago. And Indianapolis and New York in the AFC tied 6-6. So the Niners will have first and goal. A stunning development here to start the second half, and it'll be first down on the 7. 2 for 2 in the red zone for the 49ers today. Here's Ricky Waters. And he gets to the 2. Chris Spielman got a leg on him. Hand on his leg.
So the 49ers come out. Now they're getting more aggressive. I can see a huge difference just in the way they're calling the play. I think Mike Shanahan has said, look, let's get away from this. Let's start attacking. That time they take Big William Floyd and they have him in the backfield. They just run that wham right on the nose. And in order to run that play, you really got to have a physical guy back there.
Dan Owen, Shane Bonham, and Tracy Scroggins have come in up front for the Lions. Second and goal at the 2. And here is Waters, and he doesn't get there. It'll be third and goal.
Spindler on the bottom of that pile. And last time they tried to just trap him inside and run that wham. And then this time, Spindler just takes things into his own and he makes the tackle. But Mark Spindler, to me, he's a tough guy. And I mean, see the blood coming off his arm right there. Look, it's right there. And Spindler, and he looks like an angel there, but he doesn't play like an angel. He plays like a Hell's Angel when he's down inside the goal line.
He doesn't even look like an angel in the big picture. Third and goal, the ball at the 1. There's Floyd. Oh, and Floyd gets over for the touchdown.
That was great effort by Floyd.
Second effort for William Floyd and his second touchdown of the game.
That was a great hit on the goal line. I mean, that was man-to-man, and Floyd had the presence to spin back inside, and the tackler never got his arms wrapped, and Floyd came up with a touchdown. Watch Floyd. Watch right here. This is where it's going to happen. Here comes Floyd, and there goes Chris Spielman into the hole, and he hits him, and then he just runs right through Spielman. You know, in fairness to Spielman, Spielman took on the lead block first, and then he took the shot of Floyd.
Doug Bryan for the extra point. Wilmsmeyer to hold. And the 49ers taking advantage of a turnover. The Merton Hanks interception have scored to take a 21-14 lead, their first lead of the game.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By Magnavox, hey, we make technology people want. And by the NASDAQ stock market, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Well, the pressure is on the Detroit Lions as they trail down 21-14, 21 unanswered points by the 49ers. Kick returned by Mel Gray. Gets a good block by Ty Halleck, and Gray brings it out to the 36-yard line. Halleck with a fine block and a return that time of 38 yards by Gray with Thomas on the stop.
And I remember on that touchdown, the guy who doesn't quite get there is over here, Mike Johnson. Spielman does everything right. He's got to make the read, and then he's got to force the running back to come back in here. He'll take this block on, and he knows his help is Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson got too flat and overran the ball. And by overrunning it, that allowed Floyd to whirl back inside.
Lomas Brown with the bruised knee is back in at left tackle for the Lions on first down. It's a mix-up. I don't think that was a fine bootleg as Mitchell goes out of bounds. Well, right now, before we see anything else, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. JB?
What we've been seeing is William Floyd, a star of the future, but right now, here's a star of the present. Brett Favre finding his guy, the star, Sterling Sharp, and now Green Bay has climbed back to within a touchdown of the Rams, 17-10, that in the third. Back to the Silverdome. Dick and Matt.
Yep. Yeah, they got themselves a game going on up there.
Can't keep Favre and Sharp quiet for a whole game.
No, but you can keep them quiet enough, and that's what they need. They need a compliment to Sharp up there.
Second down and 13. Again, two tight ends for the Lions. Scott Mitchell's pass is caught by Perriman underneath. And it's Gary Plummer right there on the hit, and they'll make up a few yards there, 5.
Yeah, but the biggest deal so far with the Detroit Lions is that they've had time. Now, a lot of that comes from Lomas Brown, number 75. You see he had a bruised knee, and he comes back in, and what he does well, you know, he just stays right in front of him. You're not going to get anything past you on the corner, and you're not going to beat him back inside. If he has Achilles heel, it's the power move, but they get rid of the ball so quick that it's not a factor.
Third down and 8. Mitchell with a fake going deep and a mix-up as Herman Moore stopped his pattern, and the ball was overthrown.
Well, I got to tell you right there, Mitchell just gagged on that one because he had lots of time, and he just threw it up.
Look at the difference between Scott Mitchell's first quarter and what he's done since. He has gone downhill, and the Lions, after a 14-0 lead, now trailed 21-14. And their offense has stalled. Greg Montgomery to kick, and back is Dexter Carter. Beauty. Carter back on the 15. And doesn't reach the 20. Good coverage downfield. And a 47-yard kick.
So you want to be a lineman in the National Football League. Well, first thing you got to do if you're in the Detroit Lions, you got to get a big old head of hair. See, this is hair today, gone right here tomorrow. That's Slidell. I dog him every time I see him about that dome.
Well, the long-haired guys look awfully stringy, though, Matt.
They're first stringers.
First down on the 18. Mark Logan is the fullback with Waters in the backfield. And a fake end around and a pass to Ricky Waters with blockers in front. And Waters gets about 9 yards. Robert Massey is there. Right now, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studios.
Well, Dick, it was only a second ago I came to you. Take a look at this. Green Bay has tied it up with 2 scores in less than 7 minutes. This one was a beauty. Robert Brooks on the punt return. Take a look at him. Down the left sideline. Great block coming up here. And Brooks finds pay dirt. Green Bay ties it up at 17 all. That in the third. Back to the Silverdome. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen.
Interesting how the Niners came back from a deficit, and the Packers have as well. Waters fumbles, and the Niners have recovered.
And Jesse Sapolo got his hands back on. Hey, looked like Ricky Waters just threw that thing right back down on the ground.
Sapolo, of course, returning to the lineup, and the left side intact for the 49ers, but they're still concerned about the right side, where Harris Barton, he said he may get back for the Tampa Bay game, and Ralph Tam. They've had 10 different offensive lines in the last 10 games, including preseason.
I think that offensive line is playing pretty well right now. Derek Deese on the right side along with Pollock. I think they're doing a good job.
Third down and 1. Young with a pass. And he's got John Taylor, and he's got the first down. Play covering.
Yeah, you know how nice they did that? They took Nate Singleton, and they ran him right down the sideline to clear out that left flank. And then they just take somebody and they just pop it right down in the flat. And that's John Taylor. Watch Singleton. They'll take him, and he'll clear all this. Then they'll just take him and take him right outside. just run away from the defender, and that looks so simple.
First down on the 33 for the 49ers. 9:34 remaining, third quarter. Young to throw. Pressure from Broderick Thomas. And he's got him. And that is the first sack of the game by the Lions.
And Broderick Thomas has been really the only legitimate pass rusher that the Lions have had. Watch him down below. Now, he comes up from Tampa Bay, and I got to tell you, he has been playing outstanding. And the thing that surprises me most about him is he says he loves when guys try to be physical with him. He says, I'm not a guy who's a big weight room strong guy, but I love to mix it up with the big guys because they don't expect it from him.
Said he feels like he's been drafted again after leaving Tampa Bay, a new lease on life in the NFL.
He is playing very, very well.
Fourth sack of the year for Thomas, 2nd and 12. Young pass caught by Singleton. And Robert Massey all over him, limits him to a gain of 5.
That's the biggest delay penalty I've ever seen. That's Nate Singleton, 88. Oh, yeah, there's the face mask right there. Actually, that should be a 15er, not 5, because he brought him down by that. Why didn't they call that right away?
They sure waited a while.
Face mask, 5 yards. Still second.
Only 5 yards, not the 15 that it could have been.
That surprised me. That's just a pure judgment call. I mean, he brought him down by the face mask. It wasn't inadvertent.
Ron Hall in civilian clothes back on the field after suffering a sprained left knee. Starting tight end for the Lions. They've had to go with Ty Halleck and Rodney Holman. 2nd down and 2. Waters in motion. And Young up the middle finds Mark Logan. Make that Floyd, William Floyd. And he's got a first down.
That's the third different way of getting to the middle of the field. And it's the same play, it's just with different people. Remember the first time they hit Brent Jones, and then they got the big first down, and then the second time they went and they tried to throw it down the middle to John Taylor, and he had the interference call. And now they just reposition, and they send Floyd right down the middle. But it's all the same thing.
Good numbers for Steve Young. First down on the Niner 49. Going to the air, swings it out to Floyd again. And he is pushed out of bounds by Broderick Thomas, and Floyd goes through the bench as well.
That's a good hit by the bench.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah. I like this kid, Floyd. It's easy to see why the 49ers are excited about him. Now, he just gives them a push. That's all legal. And then Floyd just can't put the brakes on. And I want you to notice something. You didn't see anybody on that Detroit sideline try to offer him a helping hand. You notice that? They just opened up the floodgates and let him hit whatever he's going to hit.
Floyd's going to get a breather, and Mark Logan will come in. By the way, we understand we're having some problems with our picture because of what has been explained to me as sun outages.
Sun outages.
Sun outages. Well, we don't have any sun in here, but
sun outages.
Yeah, that's what they said. Audible by Young on 2nd and 6. Young is going deep for Jerry Rice. And a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Nice job by the 49er offensive line and running backs of picking up the blitz. Back, they're going to get a hold. No wonder they picked it up so well.
Holding number 74 of the offense.
And Steve Wallace on that left side.
Repeat 2nd down.
And they came with the blitz. They bring 7 guys. You see the 4 and then these 3 guys coming. Wallace right up here at the top. Here they come inside. Wallace just locks that left hand right there on Porsche. Actually, these have been some weak holding calls.
Second down and 16. Penalties. Detroit nearly 100 yards in penalties today. Niners have a few themselves. Young has Taylor. And Massey gets a hold of Taylor and brings him down at midfield. And that will be a 7-yard pickup and bring up third and about 9.
Yeah, Robert Massey, boy, he really closed on that one. See, John Taylor tried to run away from him, and then Massey hit another gear. Young finds Taylor sitting down, and then Taylor assesses the situation. Watch how he steps his feet. Now outside, I'm going to outrun you. He makes Mike Johnson stop, but he can't make Massey stop. Massey just accelerated.
Taylor's caught 2 today, none last week. It's third and 9. Pressure on Young. Batted up. And incomplete. Porsche tried to get him, but Young stepped up into the pocket to avoid the sack.
Nice job by Steve Young. That's what they wanted him to do. They wanted him to step up in the pocket. What he had been doing was starting to trail a little bit to his right. And watch, you get swilling pressure, step up, and then the ball just get knocked down. But you watch the end of this play. Steve Young has the presence after it gets knocked down by Porsche, and he tries to knock it down himself. You see that? And then Porsche put his big body on him.
Fourth down, and Klaus Wilmsmeyer kicking it away. Good high kick, and a fair catch called for by Gray. Stays on the field and down at the 3. And that was Kevin Mitchell, rookie from Syracuse. And so the Lions are hemmed in. While we have a moment. Good work today by our technical crew. Richie Zients, our producer. Artie Kempner, our director. Pete Macheska back as associate producer. First and 10 on the 4-yard line for the Lions. Barry Sanders. Maybe a yard, and Brian Young was all over him. What a difference for the Lions from the start of this game, Matt.
Unbelievable. You see, they came out and they were really smoking. And then the second half, they've come out. And look at the last 4 drives. They've had 4 yards as opposed to that 166. So a total of 170. The majority of it in the first 2 drives. So what were they doing early that they're not doing now? I think the biggest difference has been Mitchell trying to get a whole bunch in his passing. He's got to go back to the little 5- and 10-yard pass route.
Second down and 8. Quick release. Brett Perriman. And Perriman has the first down. Deion Sanders covering.
A lot of time to throw that football. Lomas Brown doing a tremendous job over there on the left side. Really, nobody's really gotten to him from this side. Lomas Brown just getting Brown and just, look, get the hands on him. Don't let anything happen. And then Scott Mitchell must have been listening, because what he comes out with the short stuff. What does that do? All that does is starts to give you confidence again and continuity in your offense.
Perriman has 5 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. First down on the 15. Sanders, big acceleration. Sanders, Deion making the stop, an 8-yard pickup, and right now Sanders has gained 75 yards today.
Yeah, and this is the one thing that Deion doesn't like to do, and that's tackle. He loves to cover. He loves to be outside in the open field, but now watch him at the end. He'll do it if he has to, but look, it's not like he's going up there to whack anybody. What I asked, the question was, can you expose Deion Sanders by formation and make him tackle you? The answer is yes, and so the 49ers are trying to move him around to keep him out of that situation.
Remember, his ankle is not 100% still.
Yeah, but him on a bad ankle is better than 80% with a good ankle.
On 2nd and 2, Barry Sanders with another first down, and now it looks like the Lions are going back to basics. That was a 12-yard pickup.
Yeah, they took it on the chin. They saw that graphic, only 4 yards. So what do? Just like they said, we're just going to ride the horse. And this is the horse, Barry Sanders. Get people on him. You don't have to power anybody up front. You just have people on people and just let Sanders do his stuff. You see Deion Sanders at the end just waiting in case he does break it, he'll run him down.
86 yards and a touchdown for Barry Sanders today. First down on the Lion 34. Here's Sanders again. And Ricky Jackson.
Yeah, remember we talked about in the beginning where they brought McDonald the safety up, and he just had to have the patience and maintain the discipline of the defense. You know, it's not ironic that the other guy who does it is Ricky Jackson, where Ricky Jackson has lost a little bit of quickness and his speed. He's not lost his instincts at all, and he understands completely how that scheme goes.
Great player with the Saints, now trying to do it with the Niners. Charles Mann replaces Dennis Brown up front, 2nd and 10. Mitchell is going deep for Herman Moore, and
Great
he's got it.
catch. And a flag.
Herman Moore beats Eric Davis downfield, and the Lions in business in Niner territory, and a big gain of 32 yards.
Now, Eric Davis is all over Herman Moore.
Pass interference, number 25 of the defense. Penalty of the flag. First down.
I think that's good coverage. And I think this is a great catch. Again, it always comes back. Herman Moore thinks if you're even, he's winning. Now watch the balls in the air. See, I think that's good defense. I'm sorry. But that's a tremendous catch by Herman Moore. Watch the concentration by both players. Sometimes you can do everything right, and it still goes against you. That's what happened with Eric Davis.
On the 32-yard line, and here is an end around to Perriman. Scott Mitchell is blocking, and Perriman goes out of bounds, chased by the strong safety Tim McDonald. But big Scott Mitchell, all 6'5", 235 pounds, was out in front in a gain of 5.
Sure, he's a big guy. That's a big guy. Heck, he looks like a beefed-up Tom Cruise, to be honest with you. Like Tom Cruise got in the weight room and he turned him into a quarterback for the Detroit Lions.
Best compliment Scott Mitchell has ever received.
Imagine how Tom Cruise feels.
We won't tell him. 2nd down and 4. Just got it off in time. Going to Perriman on a fade with Sanders step for step with him.
Yeah, that was Mitchell taking his shot. He came up and he went with red 78. And then the first thing he did was he looked off the safety. He looked to his right side, and he wanted Perriman to be able to just kind of take his time and then catch Sanders napping. But, you know, even when Sanders does nap, he's so fast that he can get right back into the play.
And he's the biggest of all the defensive backs. We saw that yesterday during the walkthrough. 3rd down and 4. Johnny Morton is in as an extra receiver. Out of the shotgun, Barry Sanders. And Tim McDonald meets him head on. That'll bring up 4th down. And Jason Hansen will come on to try a field goal.
Who's been having a tough time, yeah. Jason Hansen been working and working. I talked to Kazar before the game, and he said, you know, I feel bad for the kid because Hansen's been working very, very hard, but it just hasn't been coming for him.
He's missed 6 of his last 10, and last week in missing a 26-yarder against the Bucs. His first career miss inside 42 yards. This will be a 42-yarder here. Dave Craig, the holder.
That's good.
Oh, that had a lot of leg in it. Jason Hansen, and a flag is down.
It's unbelievable the amount of flags.
It's against Detroit, a holding penalty. So Hansen, and look at the reaction on Steve Kazar.
Number 49.
Ty Hallett.
Repeat 4th down.
And that usually comes off the corner when a guy tries to jump through. And he's saying, hey, no way did that happen.
They Lion penalties on punts, coverages, and on field goal attempts have hurt them. So the special teams problems continue for the Detroit Lions.
Halleck, number 49, right here. See him? I tell you what, these are the worst calls I think I've seen. I mean, Halleck couldn't have held his mom with that block.
So now the attempt will be from 52 yards. They had more pressure on Hansen. Watch the fake, they're yelling on the field. And this kick is going to be no good as it hit the upright and bounced onto the field. A tough break for Jason Hansen, who kicked a 42-yarder, then the penalty, and is right on the left upright, missing the 52-yard attempt. It's still 21-14 Niners. Oh, so close. Now here is the snap, and notice Dave Craig did not spin the ball, and so Hansen kicked the laces. And after the kick was missed, Hansen gave Craig a look, and there was some thought that maybe they change holders this week. It didn't happen. On first down, Ricky Waters goes out of bounds, and after the missed kick, the Niners took over, of course, on the 42-yard line, and Craig and Hansen are not on the same page, it appears.
Yeah, well, Dave Craig tried to get the spin, but it just didn't come all the way around. And then after he hits it, Hansen knows he hit those laces. And then watch where he goes. He comes right back and gives that look down to David Craig, down to the bottom.
Second down and 8 on the Niners 44. Still 21-14 San Francisco. Young's pass caught by Jerry Rice and hit immediately by Broderick Thomas.
A lot of time to throw the football. Boy, Frank Pollock's really playing good over there. Really doing a good job. Steve Wallace, the other tackle, is starting to give him a lot of time over there. Watch the entire offensive line. They give this guy a lot of time. Deese inside, Pollock down there, Wallace up top, Bart Oates, Jesse Sapolo. And when you have that time, you can let things develop, and you can allow a guy like Jerry Rice to find the opening in the zone.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The 49ers 21, the Lions 14. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. We start the fourth. Third down and 2 at midfield. Audible by Steve Young. He goes to Ricky Waters. He's got the first down and more inside the 45.
Nice audible.
7-yard pickup. Next Sunday, the hottest one-hour pregame show begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The Niners in Atlanta. Deion Sanders goes back home. The Eagles, who have been red hot against the Dallas Cowboys, featuring the second half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader next week.
And both the Eagles and the Cowboys have tough games this afternoon.
First down on the 43 for Young. Over the middle to Floyd. And he's hit for a gain of about 7. Mike Johnson was there first.
Mike Johnson, an active backer, and the other active linebacker is Chris Spielman, number 54. You can watch him right here. He's going to hook up with Brent Jones. The linebacker, you know, get a bump on him, and then they're in zone, so keep your eyes back inside. You want to always try to bang the receiver as he goes through your zone while still looking back to see what's going on.
Second down and 3 on the 36 of Detroit. Quick inside handoff to Waters. Close, maybe shy a bit.
See the difference with the 49ers. Mike Shanahan has decided to start running inside and get the shoulders squared of the running backs, Floyd and Waters. And then you just allow your offensive linemen to come off. You can see Deese coming around on an inside trap. Ricky Waters is most effective. You can see Shanahan down here. You can see Waters most effective when he has his shoulders squared line of scrimmage and he's going forward, not sideways.
Third and less than a yard. Steve Young may have made it with his second effort. It is a first down for the 49ers. With 2 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter, Dick Stockton and Matt Millen. Niners coming in after a shellacking at home, their worst defeat ever at Candlestick, and the worst defeat since George Seifert's been associated with the team, and the Lions having lost 2 since their win over Dallas. Seifert anxious to see things reverse this week before he goes to Atlanta.
One of the great twitching head coaches in the National
I'm glad
Football.
you said that.
You see that twitch right there?
Only a guy who played for a coach could
That's right.
get to that.
I asked him that when we played.
That's what I mean. First down, William Floyd. Got good power. Boy, he almost knocked over a Lion, Robert Massey.
Yeah, so you have the greatest receiver, arguably, to ever play in this league. So what do you ask him to do? You ask him to block. And this is what makes Rice so good. See, he's complete. Not afraid to go in there and hit the safety Clay. And what that does, it opens the corner and allows the big fullback to come rumbling down the side. You know, so much of the game of a receiver is looked at in catches. And what separates Rice, among other things, is the fact that he'll do everything you ask. You want to reverse? Give it to him. You want to catch inside in traffic? Give it to him. You want him to block? He'll do that too.
Niners have always had good blocking receivers. 2nd down and 2. Here's William Floyd, and he has another 49er first down inside the 20. And right now, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Dick, Green Bay has got the momentum. A 26-yard pass to Ed West set up this 1-yard scamper by Edgar Bennett. 21 unanswered points by Green Bay, and the Packers lead it by a touchdown. 11 minutes left to play in that ball game. Back to Detroit, Dick and Matt.
What a comeback by the Pack today. First down on the 18. Wide receivers to the left. Rice in motion. Young has Brent Jones, and a fine catch by the tight end, short of a first down by 1 yard with McNeil covering.
And then the key on the other side, remember I talked about the backers always jamming somebody when they come through your zone? Well, the key to the other side for receivers, you know you're going to get banged, see? But you have to know where the ball is going to be. Get into your passing lane and know that when you get there, you're probably going to take a shot, because in zone, all the defenders are on your top side, and they can see everything develop.
Waters and Logan are the backs. 2nd down and 1. And here is Logan, and he powers his way for a first down on the 5. Or let's see how close he does get. It appeared he hadn't, and he does.
See, the guards of the 49ers right now are really winning the battle. Now, all they're asking their center, Bart Oates, to do is stay tied up with Spindler. And then Deese and Sapolo are coming off, and they're just getting into the backers, Johnson and Spielman, and they're winning the battle. And I think when you're an offensive lineman, you really like to say, let's just go after him. Let's not run. Let's hit the guy right in front of me and see who's tougher.
1st and goal on the 4. And a whistle, and that usually indicates a penalty against the offense. Or delay a game. I don't think it was that.
Before the snap, number 61.
It was Jesse
5 yards,
Sapolo.
it's still first down.
By the way, Jesse Sapolo would have played center today had Bart Oates not recovered from the kidney stone problem he had.
Yes.
But Bart did.
And I talked to Bart about that and asked him if he had passed that stone, and he said, no, not yet. But he said it was like somebody stuck a dagger in his back, and he had that kidney stone attack. Now, had that not cleared up for him, you're right, Jesse Sapolo would have gone inside to center.
Ball on the 9-yard line following the penalty. Ricky Waters cutting inside, and he gets to the 5, where it'll be 2nd and goal.
You almost see a complete change in the running game of the 49ers. Remember, they came out, and that's all part of it. Hey, you start running outside, and you start getting the guys with speed to the corner, and what that starts to do is it starts to get your inside people starting to flow to the football. And then once you have them starting to do that, bang it inside. Now, the whole second half, the 49ers have been playing rock'em sock'em robots with those 3 guys inside.
Young with a few words for Pollock. 2nd and goal at the 5. Pressure, and nearly a fine shoestring catch by Logan. It is an incomplete pass, and Young very nearly got sacked.
That's part of the play. They're going to let somebody come free. And then it would be the hot receiver would be Logan. Now the Lions, they came out in the zone, and they brought Swilling off the corner, and you let him come untouched, and then you try to slip that fullback Logan right out there in the flat. But because they were in zone, they just dropped to the field and came up.
You saw Logan leave the field, and Nate Singleton replaces him. This is the 13th play of the drive for the 49ers. 3rd and goal. Pass is caught by Singleton, and he's in for the score. Nate Singleton
Caught him in a blitz
with his first touchdown reception.
Nice job by Steve Young of reading that defense. They brought the house, and they were all matched up in man, and they take Singleton, and they run him back underneath, allowing the 2 receivers inside to kind of pick. It is a pick play. They come inside, and that will free up Singleton. You see Rice will drive Massey to the back, And then watch Rice at the end, you know, making sure he doesn't get in.
Second career touchdown for Nate Singleton, first this year. And Doug Bryan is in. And now the 49ers, who once trailed, flag is down, by the way. Niners, who once trailed by 2 touchdowns, now lead by a couple of touchdowns. But there's a penalty.
85 of the offense.
Chet Popson.
10 yards. Retry.
I think these officials are going to have rotator cuff injuries after this game. They're throwing so many flags. But watch how Rice, they'll clear, and you'll take Singleton inside. You see, they're running a pick. Taylor was the real pick guy, and then they take Rice to drive Massey to the back of the end zone. Then they just take Singleton and bring him right underneath.
This is a 30-yard kick by Bryan for the extra point. And the kick is no good. It was off to the right. So the extra point is missed. And the score now is 27-14 in favor of the Niners. That takes a little wind out of their sails. See how the Lions respond. 49ers lead 27-14, missing the extra point following a penalty with 9:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. A 58-yard scoring drive that used up nearly 7 minutes. Doug Bryan kicking off, and Mel Gray at the 2-yard line. Mel Gray with a great return that time. Finally brought down by Ed McCaffrey. Bryan was in the neighborhood as well. And a 43-yard return by Mel Gray, one of the best. And we'll take a break. Well, the Lions will have good field position, trailing by 13.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. By Logo Athletic, get real with authentic team apparel. And by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
Back here at the Pontiac Silverdome, Dick Stockton and Matt Millen. Cecil Fielder, who's had a long time off with the baseball strike. Great slugger for the Detroit Tigers, and his son.
Looks like Cecil Jr. is going to be able to hit the ball a long ways, too.
Great guy and a great power hitter. And a great ballpark to do it in, too.
Fun to watch.
Best starting field position for the Lions. Out of the shotgun on the 44-yard line. Scott Mitchell has time, and he has Barry Sanders up the middle. Burton Hanks defending in a gain of 9. Hurry-up offense for the Lions. By the way, the 49ers are in their nickel defense. Todd Kelly and 5 backs. 2nd and 1. Another catch, first down. Rodney Holman this time.
Good decision by the Detroit Lions, going with the hurry up. Trying to get the San Francisco 49ers caught in personnel. And then it also puts the advantage back to Mitchell, where he's attacking again.
Keeps the nickel on the field. Mitchell gets a rush, going for Herman Moore.
Great play.
Knocked away by Eric Davis.
Great play by Eric Davis. Again, man-to-man. He's locked up. This time, Davis, concentration on the ball. As soon as it comes in, he slaps it out of his hand. Ball's thrown up. He's going to try to get it all back at once to get him back, right back in the middle of this. Now watch Eric Davis right here at the end. It's great defensive backfield play. Yeah, that's the same kind of play that you do as a tackler when you're coming up on the quarterback from behind. You just slap that thing down.
2nd down and 10 for the Lions. On the 37, handoff to Barry Sanders. Well, he gets crunched at the 30. Gary Plummer and company, but a gain of 7 yards.
Very rarely do you ever smack Barry Sanders. He's one of those guys, it's really hard to get a hit on. You know, some of the great ones, you just can't hit them. Because they'll know and they have a feel, and they'll just go down right at the end.
3rd and 3, and the pass caught by Holman. Another first down. Rodney Holman caught a big pass in a big scoring drive against Atlanta on the opening game of the year for the Lions.
And they caught a big one right there to keep this one going. And another first down, and they're on a roll. A lot of time in the game right here for the Detroit Lions.
7:15 on the 22-yard line. Mitchell's numbers today. Fumble. And Mitchell covers up.
Easy.
Last time the Lions had the ball, they had 10 plays and used up 5.5 minutes and came away empty after a penalty, and Hansen missed a 52-yard field goal. Lions can't squander too many more opportunities like this one.
They're more comfortable. Scott Mitchell's more comfortable in this strike. Another great play by Davis.
And another play by Davis against Herman Moore.
Scott Mitchell is much more comfortable in the shotgun. In fact, they put it in specifically for him. And he can get the ball and read everything right away. On the other hand, now they're in zone. Watch Eric Davis as the flag is thrown on this play. But Davis, again, with a nice break.
Defense, the player did not clear the field.
Too many men on the field.
Still sitting there.
And they didn't get the guy out in time. And that's exactly what, remember I said they stick him in the same personnel? Well, they tried to sneak a guy in and get one out, and he didn't get out in time.
They didn't get him off quick enough. Trying to scramble to get the right people on to match up. 2nd down and 9. On the 22-yard line. High snap to Mitchell. Mitchell is going to run. And he fires. Knocked down again, and it was Deion Sanders that time, defending against Brett Perriman. Or Barry Sanders.
Sanders on Sanders. Yeah, Sanders on Sanders. And both of them break on the ball. Both of them come back. You know, this is the mark of great receiver. Now, Barry Sanders, watch how he comes back to the ball, and watch how Deion both attack the thing and get to it at its highest point.
He was aggressive on that play. And, of course, outweighing Sanders by a bunch. 3rd down and 9. Ball at the 21-yard line. I would say the Lions have 2 downs to get a 1st down here.
Oh, this is 4-down territory.
Mitchell is going to lose the ball. And the 49ers apparently have recovered. They've got it.
Sean Bowens tried to pick it up, should have just fallen on it, and would have brought up the 4th down. Instead, he tries to make like Barry Sanders after Dennis Brown came off the corner and slapped the ball out of Mitchell's hands. Watch the pressure come off the top. Dennis Brown beats Bowens on the outside move. The ball comes loose. Now Bowens will pick it up and try to run. He fumbles on a hit from Kelly, and they lose it.
Another long possession, another empty possession for the Lions. Well, Jimmy, have you thought about Pontiac, Michigan? Because anytime a coach is under fire, Jimmy Johnson's name comes up, and of course Wayne Fonts, you'd have to say, is under fire, having lost 2 and losing a lead here. Turnovers have hurt. 1st and 10 on the 24-yard line. And here's Ricky Waters. And he brings it out to the 30-yard line. Bourget making the stop. Well, here we go again, Matt. You ready? Opening Friday at a theater near you, our own John Madden and Ed O'Neill star in the new motion picture comedy Little Giants. And tonight they'll be hosting the Fox Sunday night lineup. All part of Little Giants Night, brought to you in part by Warner Brothers, tonight on Fox.
Yeah, I talked to John about making that movie, and told me the worst thing about it was putting the makeup on and then waiting. And you know the way Madden is, he needed a lot of makeup.
They're cruel.
I'm just honest.
2nd down and 4 at the 30. Here is Ricky Waters going left. Tag is down. Penalty marker.
And they're going to catch William Floyd on a hold.
Want to remind you, at the end of this game, Matt and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. Floyd has scored 2 touchdowns today for the 49ers. And an injured player, Kelvin Pritchett.
And watch Floyd, number 40, on Pat Swilling. See, he gets that arm under right there. See, that's a pass rush technique. He just tried to throw through and then get his rear end in, but he just pulled him down. Deron Barnes down here. See that, 56?
Holding number 40. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Now, Ron Barnes is going to either need rotator cuff surgery or he's going to have bursitis because he's been throwing all over the place.
Lions with critical penalties today. 12 in all for 101 yards, many of them by the special teams. 49ers with 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 by Floyd and 1 by Ricky Waters. And Steve Young getting good protection today. 17 for 23 and a touchdown toss. 3rd down and 9 at the 25. Here comes the blitz on Young, and he goes down in a hurry, and that was Kelvin Pritchett.
Yeah, and Steve didn't like that. Kelvin Pritchett came through, and then they then they had a bunch of people on. You see Mike Johnson talking to him. And Steve's not real fond of all the humanity that landed on him.
Okay, I understand. 2nd sack of the game by the Lions. That'll be 4th down. Klaus Wilmsmeyer inside his 5 will be kicking to Mel Gray. And right now the Lions will call a timeout. That is their first timeout of the second half.
Bart Oates having a rough week. You know, he started with a kidney stone, and he ends right here. See this? Kelvin Pritchard sticks his finger right under his eye and cuts him, and because of that, he's not in there on the snap right now. Pops and snapping.
Kick by Wilmsmeyer, and Mel Gray has to go way back. That was a terrific kick. And Gray is hit at the 39-yard line by Kevin Mitchell. That was a 56-yard kick by Wilmsmeyer. He's done a good job today.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Porsche. Imagine the thrill of having to commute day after day after day.
Well, some of the faithful have left the Silverdome, but not him. Not the mascot.
What a fat lion that is. Big fat lion. And I ain't lying.
Ooh. All right, man. Good for you. 5:01 to go. Lions first down on their 39, trailing by 13 points. Mitchell getting away from Brian Young. And a nice tackle by Todd Kelly and a loose ball, but the play was blown dead. Burton Hanks, who has a big interception today, picked it up, but the play had been blown dead at the 38.
And all of a sudden, the Detroit Lions are breaking down inside. Bryant Young that time coming inside and getting some pressure, forcing Mitchell out of the pocket.
2nd down and 11. Here they come. Nice catch by Barry Sanders.
See how he just got down right at the end? He felt Ricky Jackson coming out of the corner of his right eye, and he just dropped down. So it's hard to get a smack on that guy.
Again, the hurry-up offense by the Lions. 3rd down and 5.
A lot of time.
Mitchell drills it, and it's caught. And that time it was Aubrey Matthews, who was coming to play with Anthony Carter out of action. And that is an 18-yard pickup into 49er territory.
And the 49ers changing on the run, bringing Dennis Brown back in. And Thomas checks in outside. Some fresh legs.
4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Mitchell pass in a crowd, and Holman makes another great catch.
What a catch.
Against double coverage. Tim McDonald was there, and Rodney Holman has had a sensational game.
Second half, he's really come on. Mitchell right now throwing with confidence. Getting some time. Two plays where he's had time. 2 big plays.
He's in rhythm. That's apparent. First down. Mitchell going deep for Herman Moore. Touchdown, Lions.
Those two have been fighting all afternoon. Herman Moore scored early. Eric Davis started to take it over in the second half. And now Herman Moore comes back again to put the Lions right now within 7 with a chance to go to 6. That's just a matter of body position. Moore beat him to the inside, and then Mitchell threw it away from the defender.
And a very important extra point coming up by Jason Hanson. With Dave Craig, the holder, the kick is good. So the Lions, with 3:26 remaining, trail by 6 points. So the missed extra point after the penalty by Doug Bryant could come back to haunt the 49ers. A 6-point San Francisco lead.
Mitchell had been trying to go up 3 times. This is the 4th time that Mitchell decided to take it up. This time he got the safety out of the middle, and that allowed Moore to run back inside away from the defender, Davis, and that gave him the 6 points.
26-yard play, and for Herman Moore, his 3rd touchdown reception. Tell you, Eric Davis has had a good game, knocking down some big plays, but that time he was beaten.
Now that time he had no help inside.
5 plays, 61 yards in 1 minute and 35 seconds. The Lions scored in a hurry.
And Herman Moore is talking right now. You're going to see they're lined up right here. They're going to try to get to the center of the field. His safety hangs right here. See how he breaks outside? When he breaks, there's nobody in the center of the field. Puts Davis on an island by himself with 3/4 of the field to have to make up. And Mitchell just threw it away from him to the middle and let Moore run to it.
Those are the Lions coaches upstairs, but down on the field, the 49ers may be anticipating an onside kick, and frankly, I think it's too early for that at 3:26.
Well, you know, you got to look at it this way. If the 49ers get the ball back with 3 minutes and 26 seconds, they have the capabilities, and they have been taking time off the clock. Now, the last series, the Lions went with a couple of blitzes, stopped the clock, and only took 1.5 minutes of time off. But with Steve Young in sync, which I think he is right now, and his offensive line having time, he can pick you apart.
Lions have 2 timeouts remaining. And there's the kick. Short kick, and deep enough. Dexter Carter. And I think that's the smart play, because if the onside kick didn't work, that would be the ball game.
Yeah, in good field position. So, Dick, you know what I just said? Forget any word I just said. I was making it up anyway.
Hey, you only got 4 Super Bowl rings. What do you know?
That's right. It would have been for coaching decisions, that's for sure. That's why I'm up here. Pat Williams getting them all fired up. Yeah, they want some emotion out of this crowd. Half the crowd's already left. They're eating hot dogs out in the parking lot. But the other half that's here, they're getting into it.
Young to throw. He's got Floyd. And a big play.
Nice play right at the end. Did you see what Floyd did at the end? He may have hurt his knee for it, but he tried to stay in bounds and tried to throw himself back. And then Spielman came over the top and kind of bent him backwards. So watch him put the brakes on right at the end. He'll come up, and he knows that he's going to be taken out of bounds. Watch this. See how he falls down? Watch his knee. Yeah, that's some good play by a rookie.
And he kept the clock going, forcing the Lions to call a timeout, leaving them with only 1 now. Don't forget, he played at Florida State, so he played big-time college football.
Yeah, I'm impressed with him today. I think that the 49ers have to be pleased with the play of William Floyd. Yeah, they talked about having a bigger body in their backfield. They said, we need a Tom Rathman kind of guy. Well, Floyd seems to be that guy. And the other thing that he does, he also brings some spark in there, too. One of the problems that can pop up with William Floyd is he gets so excited that he'll kind of black out sometimes and not, do what he has to do. But I've been very impressed with him today. A couple of big blocks. Remember the block down here in the end zone when he took out 2 guys, allowed Waters to get into the end zone.
First NFL start, and he's made it one to remember.
Mike Johnson got the eyes ready for this offense. Time for a big play from the Detroit offense. 2nd and 1.
Here's Floyd. First down.
Yeah, power. Yeah, that's what they have that they haven't had.
And let's see if the Lions use up their last timeout here. They do.
They sure do.
So the Lions are out of timeouts with 2:54 remaining. I want to remind you at this point that coming up on the NASDAQ stock market postgame report, JB and Terry will get you caught up on all the action with scores and highlights from this 6th week of the NFL season. That's all coming up next on the NASDAQ stock market postgame report.
NASDAQ I can't even say it.
Well, we'll tell you what, we'll work on it.
I'll need more than a card to read, believe me.
You know what? You don't have to say it.
I can't even say Grubak.
'49ers leading by 6 points, and the Lions are out of timeouts. And it's interesting that Steve Young has gone with the rookie Floyd in big plays here in this important drive.
Yeah, that's confidence from the coaching staff. Giving the rook the ball, especially inside in the power game.
First down on the 35. Ricky Waters for a couple, but the Lions can't stop the clock. Mike Johnson makes the play. '49ers in no hurry.
Now, what we used to do right now, and they changed the rules. Well, actually, it's not inside of 2 minutes. We used to have somebody get hurt right away. You know, I was always the guy who went down with a bad ankle.
Really?
And then ran back out, yeah. Yeah, you got to get that clock stopped somehow. And you see Steve Young waiting up there until it got to 10 seconds to use as much of the clock as possible.
Second down and 6. Again, here is Floyd. Boy, I like him. Short of a first down by a couple of yards. It'll be third down, and we'll have another stoppage of the clock.
Big play
on the
coming up.
2-minute warning. 2-minute warning here at Pontiac. It'll be third and short when we come back with the 49ers in front. The biggest play of the game about to unfold with 2 minutes remaining. It'll be third down and 2. Lions out of timeouts, and if they have any hope, they must stop the 49ers on this play.
Yeah, got to be here. Everybody's got to be solid. They got to get their defensive line come off the ball, and then one of those backers got to make themselves a play.
And the Niners come out with 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, they're spreading them out. They're spreading them out.
Young with a pass, caught, and it should be a first down to Jerry Rice.
And that should do it.
Yep. And, you know, that's as good as a run, the way the 49ers run their offense with the short passing game.
You know what's so impressive about that? You know, Young sees the blitz perfectly. Herb Patera, the defensive coordinator, decides to go with the blitz. He gets the time. Ricky Waters picks it up perfectly. And then Rice breaks it off right at the first down mark. Ball comes out quick. It's almost unstoppable. Remember, we started the game with a picture of Jerry Rice and said, unstoppable. Well, the 49ers finished the game with him doing just that.
Kneel down on first down, and the clock running down, and not much the Lions can do at this point. They led 14-0 at one time, and then the 49ers had 27 unanswered points before the Lions came within 6. And the Miller Lite player of the game is William Floyd, rookie from Florida State. Floyd with 35 yards rushing and 8 carries, 2 touchdowns. He caught 5 passes as well. Fine blocking game.
Yeah, that's what impressed me the most. Now, he got some tough yards at the end, but he really did a good job blocking. Remember the block, he took out 2 guys that allowed Ricky Waters to get into the end zone. And then the other thing is the guy had good poise out there today. He did some good, smart things. Stayed in bounds, let the clock keep going. Made the Detroit Lions have to take a timeout, so Floyd passed with flying colors today.
He sure did. Barry Sanders, by the way, gained 95 yards and scored a touchdown, and the 49ers will win this game and go 4-2 on the year. The Lions losing going into the bye week at 2-4, and that's going to not make things pleasant for Wayne Fontes and company. And for George Seifert, he'll move on to Atlanta with a record of 4-2. The Falcons leading 34-10 also with a 4-2 record. That'll be a big battle next week in Atlanta. So the final score, 49ers, after the humiliating loss to the Eagles, have won. Reminder, the Nasdaq stock market post-game report coming up. 49ers came back, and this is a team that knows how to win. And they kept their patience. Didn't panic when they were trailing by 2 touchdowns. So the Lions will fall behind in the NFC Central, and the 49ers continue on the road.
I don't think that the Detroit Lions played that poorly of a game. I think actually the Detroit Lions played a pretty good football game. They had some breakdowns in spots, but they gave Mitchell some time to find his receivers. And then I like the fact that they went at the end of the game, they went with the quick no huddle, and they put him in shotgun to find his receiver. They're going to be okay. They got him a little bit of time, and he found his receivers, and that's really what they need because they know they have Sanders.
Scott Mitchell played a lot better this week than he had in the previous two. Floyd scored 2 touchdowns. Ricky Waters had 1. Nate Singleton caught a touchdown pass today, and Barry Sanders with a score, and Brett Perriman with a touchdown pass. Burton Hanks with a big interception today, right?
Yeah, and they're going to have a big nose tomorrow when he takes that Band-Aid off. And Burton Hanks really played well.
And a big showdown for first place in the NFC West coming up next week when Dion goes back to Atlanta as the Falcons and the 49ers square off.
And that's going to be a lot of fun, especially watching Sanders taking on some of those wide receivers against that run and shoot, and they'll get them on the run.
And we want to remind you, our post-game show's coming up. Tough break for Jason Hanson. Looked like he gotten out of his slump with a 42-yard field goal, but a penalty set him back. Good to have this guy back.
No question. Jesse Cifolo came back, and he really solidified that left side of the offensive line. Really, the offensive line of the San Francisco 49ers played very well today. I think what you saw Deese playing well, and you saw Pollock come in off the bench. Really had himself a pretty good football game.
So the 2 changes in George Seifert's lineup paid off today. Pollock at right tackle, and of course William Floyd at fullback. And Mark Logan did get a chance to play a good deal, but it was Floyd, and I think he's there to stay at fullback.
I don't think there's any question. He showed the tough yardage inside like we talked about, and he kept his poise. Then really the 49er offense is going to get better because Ralph Tam, injured guard, will be back. And Harris Barton, the injured tackle, is going to be back. So it's just a matter of time before those guys are full strength. And if they're pretty good when they're not at full strength, imagine what they're going to be when they have everybody.
And the 49ers should hold their own at least until we get to the point where Richard Dent could come back in, say, 5 weeks. So 49ers right now 4-2. Atlanta heading for a victory. Would also be 4-2 on the year. And as we said, those two will square off. Interesting how the Falcons have replaced the New Orleans Saints as the challengers to the 49ers in the NFC West.
Yeah, especially with June Jones' offense down there. And I think the difference with June Jones in Atlanta is he's not as thick-headed with that run and shoot. He's willing to make changes and go with the kind of personnel he has, and he's done that. He's picked up a couple different wide receivers, and they've been productive for him while they still have Rison. And today, they ended up going with Craig Hayward, which was a big change for him.
Well, the Lions have now lost to the 49ers 5 straight games. As the 49ers win on the road, for Matt Millen and Kevin Frazier, I'm Dick Stockton. We want to remind you that we'll be along with the post-game show to bring you up to date on all the scores and highlights. Final score here at the Pontiac Silverdome, the 49ers defeat the Detroit Lions 27-21.